Hey everyone, welcome to Go Live. This is an extra special edition of the show because I'm dying. I've got COVID, but you see, I just want you to know that no matter what, the show must go on. Thank you so much for joining us. We die, we live, and we die for this shit. Thank you so much. And what an incredible panel. You think COVID is going to stop me when I have the absolute honor and pleasure of being joined by Jay Fonzarelli and King David, looking so lit before. Look at this guy. You've got some upgrading hardware, not even around your neck, but your camera, mic, everything since I last saw you, man. I can't wait to get into it. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. It's going to be an incredible show. Please stay safe out there. And we're going to get into it. Before we do, I have to plug in GameOnDaily.com. Please register and check that out. Site's heavy in development, and it's going to be something special, especially this year. Please check it out. My boy, Asa, co-founder, co-host, looking real surprised out there. Your camera's a bit high, or you're looking really short today. How are you doing?
No, I'll correct that. I'll be taller in a minute. But yeah, this is it. This is the week you can't avoid talking about VR, not even faking your little illness. We're going to get into VR. I love it. It's going to be a good one. Now I'm going to get taller.
Man, yeah. I knew this was going to be your show. Finally, we get to talk about it, and not even an afterthought. It's the main one, the main topic. And I can't wait to talk about VR and people in chat. There was conversations in the green room about that as well. So I'm really looking forward to reeling that in, because there are some significant developments in there. And what a great panel. What a great panel. Good friends more than guests. These gents have graced us top of the game in what they do. And well, look, I'm getting distracted right here, man. This king is just fully, he's wearing all that ice. How you doing, king? You looking sick.
I've had a hell of a holiday. You know, the wife and I are actually, doing fantastic. And it's been a really good holiday. 2022 it's looking, and it's going to be a fantastic year. I mean, for everybody involved. We took 2 weeks off. So, Iron Lords comes back this Sunday at 1 p.m. On YouTube and, wherever we stream. Yeah. And I love 1 p.m. because I bet you do. I'll be dead. Everything is great. I'm so happy that you hit me up. I was like, okay, so Gaz gets the first show of me back before the show. So, yeah. So that's
what a way to kick 2022 off. I have the pleasure of having you on. I did try and get you immediately on, but he goes, Gaz, it's the holidays. What's wrong with you? I'm like,
That's my wife wasn't trying to hear that.
Yeah. I know. I've got you in trouble before. So, Mrs. King David, I apologize. If you was late before, that was my fault. Trust me.
She's watching.
Oh, damn. Please. Luckily, E3's cancelled, so you can't beat me this year. But we need to talk about that.
You just broke my heart again.
I know, man. I know. You don't understand. More than anyone, I'm happy. I'm looking forward to linking up with you. Maybe you can salvage something, but we'll talk about that.
We think different. Maybe Gamescom.
But Gamescom is... You mean Germany? You guys coming?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, we're international. Our passports are stamped. Come on, man.
Oh, man. Please make it happen. Yes. If one way or the other, I'm coming stateside to see all of you.
Yeah.
Especially the last and not least, one of my best friends, man. It's Jay Fonzarelli, one of the sickest content creators out there.
I appreciate you. You know, somebody called me boring yesterday on Twitter. And, thanks to King for, showing up and, having my back there. But, I could be called lots of things, but boring? Really? Boring. Have you seen some of my content? No, I'm not boring. Let's just say this, okay? This is a man that I had to block because he did something or said something out of pocket so foul or something that I had to block him. So, if I'm so boring, why are you following me? Just
Bro, you
stop.
are not boring.
Anyways,
I knew in the space.
He's the inventor of whack.
Whack. That's right, bro. He's whack. Anyways, it's good to be here, man. I'm happy that you invited me today, especially with King in the house, man. Like his return. King's one of my favorite people out here in the community. He already knows. And it's just like, every time King's on with me, we always get into some foolishness. It's going to be a good time. You guys are going to have a great show today. Trust me. It's going to be great.
100%. 100%. Boring is definitely not the word you're going to be using after the show is ended. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we go into the topics, let me quickly read these super chats. WNCC, thank you so much for the £2 super chat. It goes for the meter. Thank you. You're keeping us running. Hoggy Chani, thank you so much for the membership chat. I was in party chat with him earlier. Not even the Rona can stop the sauce. Good luck getting through the episode, brother. Habibi, great panel. King Fonz. Hey, Asa. Thank you so much, Huggy. He's been a massive supporter for us. If I have energy,
awesome.
we're playing.
Yeah,
Huggy's sick. Such a sick guy. And I'm hopefully playing It Takes Two with him if I'm not dead by the end of this show. But I'm surviving. Rona can't stop the sauce.
Turmeric and ginger, sir.
Yeah, that's literally what I just had before I came on the show.
Healthy dose of zinc as well, brother.
Yes.
Take it.
Yes.
I need to take that. My immune system is that for like a 3-year-old boy.
Right.
Like,
So about a month and a half ago, my daughters and I went through COVID.
Right.
And we got through it in like 3 days. And I attribute this, honestly, to taking a lot of vitamins daily for the past year. Like year and a half. Like ever since the corona thing, started and I started reading up on what to take, what to do, we started hitting them hard. And I'm telling you, man, it helped. It helped us a lot.
Yeah. Now good. That's what I'm doing. I'm really bad with that. FFSs and tablets, multivats.
Take
none
them.
of that I have
Take them,
usually,
bro.
so I need to get into it. And sort my diet out, but I'll get there. I was getting my summer body ready for E3 and that. Well,
I can tell, bro.
Yeah,
looking good.
I'm going for my PAX body. We got PAX in April, so see y'all in PAX.
Yeah, I'm not going for the 6-pack. I'm going for the keg. I'm going for the keg, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm rocking. I'm rocking the keg, but it's a hard keg. Pause.
Yeah, pause with that.
I'm rocking the 6 months pregnant look. But,
6 months.
Two to do.
Man, I hide it well. Oh man, this has been so contrast to the last week. There was not much gaming news. There was the first week of Jan. What was gonna happen? Not much, but we had a great show with Rand and Jez. Shout out to Rand as well. He's been feeling he has had vertigo, so he's been up and down. But I messaged him. He's doing better. So get well, Rand. So we had pretty quiet show. Not quiet show. It was a great show actually, because just the synergy was amazing. But there wasn't much gaming news. Then fast forward today, and by the end of it, I've got so many topics to talk about, and can't wait to get into these topics with these gents. And a lot of it's PlayStation stuff as well, because, and I'm glad we have that, because there's a lot of things happening on PlayStation side. It's starting this year. So positive, but then mired in controversy. Ghost of Tsushima, great game. Both gents love this game on the panel here. Sells 8 million units worldwide, which is massive. Congrats to Sucker Punch for really nailing it. That game, I think critically didn't get all the accolades it deserved, but
what are you
fans
serious?
picked it.
Please, every time I hear a PlayStation dude, all they talk Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Tsushima. They fixed the lip sync, Ghost of Tsushima. So I mean, I think it's gotten its just due. I mean, let's don't undersell it.
I meant critics, not the fans. They'll obviously go. They'll go a little bit.
I love
too
Ghost.
much.
I love that game, man. So
Yeah, no, it's a great game. It's a great game. Even Asa liked it, and he hates stealth games, right?
I haven't finished it.
It's not really stealth.
You see, Ace is like me. I see. We share a lot of things in common, and like he said, he hasn't finished it. Neither have I. And my PlayStation is sitting there ice cold. Let's fire them up, get them glizzies ready. But
mine's the same. But yeah,
but it's. I take it as like Assassin's Creed type games light. It's like it's very easy to get into, very good on the storytelling, and great on the eyes.
Combat's great too, in my opinion.
Yes. So I think it's a really good game. But 8 million. Here we go.
8 million. That's really good. So that was really good. They were celebrating that, right? So at the back of that, though, and you
That's
had
decent. That's decent for an exclusive. Let's not gloss over that.
This, he's about to backhand him.
Unfortunately, according to Sony themselves, it's not that great, because didn't they say that Days Gone didn't do well at 6? I mean,
no, they did 8.
So
they did 8.
Days Gone also did 8, and this was
it did. Yeah, but and that was an issue, right? So why was that an issue?
Because they didn't like the ugly baby.
See, that's what's messed up here.
The story.
Yeah, I like Days Gone as well. I thought that was underrated, but yeah, it's silly what's going on. Like celebrate an 8 million selling game, but then trash another 8 million selling game.
Okay, so isn't it this way? And this is how I equate it, because everybody's up in arms about it, right? Sucker Punch is the kid that you wanted. Ben is not the kid that you wanted, right?
It's true.
Okay, so Ben actually shows up with he comes in with a B+. And you're like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, whatever. You got to try harder. We only strive for excellence in this house. We only go for AAAs. That B+, not gonna take that. And then here comes Sucker Punch, and they come in with a B+ as well. And you're like, oh my God, you did fantastic. Oh man, I love you. This is great. And that's how I equate it. Either they really didn't like how the studio was run or how the studio is, because 8 million is 8 million, right? So if I have both kids that come in with a B+, they're both getting cake and ice cream. But apparently at Sony's house, only one can get cake and ice cream. And if you're not the favorite child, cake and ice cream is not for you.
Well, that's really what happened. I see your B+ analogy. If you look at, so really, this is why it's Metacritic. Sony plays a lot of stock on Metacritic. 71 or something for Days Gone didn't jive well with Sony. And so this is what John Garvin was saying. And then you've got his mate, Ross, forgot his last name, Jeff Ross, sorry. He came on the day that Sucker Punch announced, and Sony were like, congratulations, Sucker Punch, 8 million. He was like, wait, hold on a minute. We did 8 million and Sony made us feel like shit for it. Yeah, no cake and ice cream for them. And I understand their view on it. I understand I appreciate sometimes Sony's little, what's the quality bar? It's not all sales, but at the same time, this is what Jeff Ross was saying. He was saying, in order, you have to walk, then you can crawl and then run. Well, no, crawl, walk, run. And Killzone 1 to Killzone 2 was the comparison that he made. He said, look at Killzone 1 and then look at what happened to Killzone 2. It went straight to 91 meta. You didn't really give us a chance. And you have to check out David Jaffe's show, I love his stuff. Yeah, he's wicked, and he was on, I think yesterday he had both Jeff Ross and John Garvin on, and the video is called Days Gone Creative Leads. Just type in David Jaffe. I will just copy and paste this in the chat now, but check it out. So in that, some tidbits I'll take out from the quotes is really interesting. They're really pissed off, but they're not pissed off at the Sony heads. However, this is what he had. You have to watch the video, but this is the couple of things he said. He goes, and I quote, as soon as Sean was gone, Days Gone was dead.
What I told you.
Sean Layden. Interesting, no? Why?
Okay.
Sean Layden goes and he's dead.
I can explain why, right? Because Jim Ryan, like I told you, is a numbers guy. right? So if Metacritic is what everybody is going by, the numbers on Ghost of Tsushima is pretty higher than Days Gone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so both coming in at 8 million sold. Now, you should be a results guy opposed to actually the numbers guy, because if both come in at a certain number sold, right, they're both bringing in same revenue sold, then you should be looking at the sold through numbers. Now, Ghost of Tsushima actually didn't they get like a masterwork edition or something like that to boost the numbers, opposed to Days Gone actually doing this actually off of its original copy and then got ported over to Steam, which it actually didn't get any super enhancements and anything else like that. Remember, more work went inside Ghost of Tsushima. Why? It got more work put in because it was a higher Metacritic score. So this is what you're saying here, and this is what you're telling all your studios. We're going to be beholden to a Metacritic score that can be manipulated at any given time, and this is what we're going to hold you to, opposed to actually getting results. Because if this is the truth, then Naughty Dog should have definitely never made part 2 to Uncharted, because the first Uncharted wasn't as good as part 2 to Uncharted, right? Didn't it score lower?
It scored lower, but it still scored very well. But it wasn't what it was. But the point remains, there wouldn't have been a Killzone.
Can we just like contextualize the 8 million though, because it is like important to the story. The 8 million.
Yes, that's what I wanted to do right now. Go ahead.
Yeah.
That they took that from a PlayStation Trophies website. So it's not numbers from Sony Publishing. It's speculative numbers taken from how many people have played it according to some third-party website. It's also they didn't mention the point in time. It's not sales. They didn't mention the point in time that they took this data, but Days Gone is free in the PlayStation Plus collection. So what they're saying is,
wow,
8 million people have played this game at some point. It is free. It has been discounted. And there's no argument it was not as critically or commercially well received as Ghost of Tsushima. No matter how much they kick and scream about it, it just wasn't.
You're right. You're 100% right. Because I remember a story just last year talking about the numbers for Days Gone. And I could have swore it was around 4 million copies sold on the PlayStation. And I remember a story that said that it sold more on Steam than it's sold on PlayStation. So what are we doing here? Well, like I don't understand this situation too well, because I even looked it up real quick, and that Jeff Ross, who was saying this based on those trophy numbers, you're 100% right. It was free on the PlayStation Plus. Those numbers aren't accurate at all.
Okay, so now that we're not using archaic information anymore, actually sales numbers, let's go with engagement here, right? Let's look at engagement at this point, right? So you put the game, actually you're giving a showcase to your PlayStation Now, and you put Days Gone in there, and then engagement goes up. So doesn't that actually count for something, that engagement into a game that you think that wasn't all that great? Actually, let's look at those people that actually played this game. Let's look at those 8 million people that actually played this game, and let's get a Q census from these individuals to see how they rate the game. Why don't you have a rating system within your system to see if this game actually scores as higher as it's supposed to? And then why don't you rate that company or your studio on those scores based from people that actually played the game and liked the game that's inside your ecosystem? Don't you think that is fair? I think that's fair.
I think that is a really interesting concept as well. Think about this. Think about beating a game, you get that last trophy, and then it asks you for a rating for that game you just beat. That would be amazing on both sides, on all sides.
Except if you're a Halo fan, because only 8% of people completed that campaign.
Well, that's their fault. That's on them. But what King is saying, though, those that enjoyed the game enough to at least complete the game, let them be the ones who dictate what the score is. Not some Metacritic journalist that you don't know if they beat it or not, because we know now they've admitted they don't beat games.
Yeah.
That would be
not all of them.
True.
Like, if you were to put in a system like that, it would be massively skewed towards positive reviews, because you'd only be sampling people that liked a game enough to finish it.
But isn't that the people that you want to talk to? I mean, actually, you don't want to talk to the people, because I know a lot of people that doesn't even play certain games that go there to Metacritic to rate a score on a game lower just because.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is like a verification process. You log in, you play the game, you end the game, or you get to a certain, let's say you get to a certain point in the game, and they give you checkpoints throughout the game. Do you like the game? How's the game progression? You can sign up for these little ad things or whatever, or you don't. You can dismiss it, because a lot of times you just say not now on your phone. When something pops up, you don't want to talk about it.
Breaking,
you know. So why don't we have that type of check and balances system within a system, so we know that it's not skewed wrong, so that we know that these people and these scores that is actually coming up is actually verified scores from individuals that have actually played these games and that do have something to say about these games, and we can post those comments. But they like to post different comments.
You know what, King? I think it works only if they beat the game. And the way you would check this is because, like, look, most sites where you're able to put up a score or say you don't like a game is sites where you don't even have to beat it. There is no check and balance there. But if you complete the game, you have the say-so to say, hey, it was okay or it was really good. And those that don't like it and didn't complete it, they can kind of average that out and say, well, they didn't even get a score on there. They didn't complete the game. We'll just count that as a negative towards the game. But if you really look at what people have played it, because that's who I want to hear from, is the people who actually completed it. I don't care if you thought it was bad, but if you completed it, I respect your review no matter what, you know. So
yeah, I think
and I really like your idea, King, because it's kind of reflective of the way we like absorb or experience our games now. It's very fluid.
Yeah. We do that with everything in life. If you're in your Uber and you go in your Uber and you take your Uber ride from the beginning, they don't ask you in the beginning, how was your Uber ride? They ask you at the end. Right. So, and they value your opinion, and those people's stars either go up or down compared to how they feel about the experience. And it teaches the driver actually, oh, I should have some water. I should have a charger next time, or I should actually let them use their own music or whatever. Or I should have had some gum or something like that, because I got into an amazing Uber ride while I was in California, and I couldn't give him enough stars and a tip and everything, because he came in there 100% prepared to take me to my destination, and it was a great experience. So why don't we have that in our video games, where we're spending tons of money and doing these things, and we're spending our time and our engagement? We do that on movies on Netflix and stuff like that, right? We rate it right after we finish it, right? So why aren't we doing this with our games?
I agree.
That's a great point. In fact, I reckon that if devs gave gamers a choice, like you said, you can opt out if you want, because it could be immersion breaking for some people. Because of the manner in which it's interactive in gaming, they can in games per level. How would you like this level? How much do you like the story? Gamers really like to give feedback like that. Obviously, some people their views will be more valuable because they take the time to actually fill out these things properly, or some people just have an agenda. But
and think about this: you have a database of all these people that rate the game. And you will end up having, sort of like back in the day when we used to have, when we used to go to websites and read our favorite reviewers, reviews and stuff back in the day. I don't know if you remember the old forums and stuff. But anyways, but you could have your favorite reviewer. You could say, hey, this guy likes a lot of stuff I like, so I'm going to go and see what he has to say about this game.
Yeah.
And it's just common folk. It's not IGNs. It's not GameSpots.
Yeah.
This is amazing. That's a great idea, King.
I saw a lot of people, because Gaz brought up something that I was really infuriated about with the Halo stuff. You had a lot of sites that weren't like reputable sites giving down scores on it. And, I'm like, man, I've never heard of this site before. I've never heard of this company before. So why do they get a voice? And it's not trying to skew it towards just the positive. I don't care if you say you hated it after you played it and finished it. That's up to you. That's your opinion. But there's facts to back up your claims, right? You actually put in the time and the work to get this stuff done. So we do this with everything, and we're in the way we consume things now. Everything has a questionnaire after you finish. How was your experience? Your phone will pop up. You can go to the movies and Google will be like, oh, you were at IMAX.
Yeah,
how did you like IMAX? Was it cool? Is this place verifiable? So they know where you are, and they ask you these questions.
And you get paid for it on Google.
Yes.
that's
But this one thing right here that everybody's holding so high, this Metacritic stuff, it needs to break away and go away. It really does, because it's really hurting the industry as a whole. Because again, I say Ben is a very good studio, and they did something that was very how they the crowd with the zombies. It was really good. It looked really good how they was working it, and I just feel that if they got a second chance,
that's how I felt.
Part 2 would have been amazing.
Yes,
with the stuff that they learned,
especially the cliffhanger that they ended on the secret ending and stuff like that. It's just, I was waiting for a part 2. I thought for sure, they're going to get a sequel and they're going to nail it in the sequel, because I did like the gameplay loop. I thought it was a little long. The story drug out just a little bit, but I still liked the game a lot. And I thought, the second game, they're going to nail it. And then, the news came out. Sony put them over to work on The Last of Us remake and all this other stuff. And it's like, really? You use a talented studio like that for something like, it's just that was a nightmare. I'm sure for those guys.
If King David's model, we call it the David model, is adopted. If David's model, if your model is adopted, it actually would so me and Asa running a news aggregation platform. Asa, forgive me if I'm speaking for you, but a system like this would be perfect, no? Because that's what GameOnDaily is about, redressing the balance. So it's not the big boy's voice, it's out there to give it to the little people. Now, if I'm reading a quote here from Jeff Ross, he says, John and I know this game is heavily flawed. We are not defending a 71 on Metacritic, but we know we've created a great entry. And they talk about how fans constantly message them. They love the game. They don't understand the reviews. Redress the balance. Give the power to the people live reviewing the game. Then the companies like Sony, if they're really smart, there's an avenue here to build on something, a sequel for the fans, for people who want more of this. If game, irrespective of, is it 5 million? Dan Lazard, thank you for the super chat, says the numbers were skewed. It was actually, those are fabricated numbers. Even if they
we talked about that.
5 million, whatever it is, at least we'll put the proof to the pudding. We'll get real life metrics there. That's a great idea. It's a great idea.
It really is.
What do you think?
They don't want that.
Closing off on that.
They
don't want that.
I think it deserves no more than a 4 out of 10 because they called the zombies freakers, and it winds me up.
Well, Last of Us called them clickers. So,
and somebody
all got their names.
Have a TM on calling them zombies, right? Maybe Capcom has
I don't think so. It's just,
zombies.
I don't know.
Just call them zombies.
You got to tell why or something. I don't know. It's a reason why these guys are calling them weird names, clickers and freakers. I don't know.
Flickers.
Just call them whack. How about that?
Whack is out here.
No.
Hogan Chat, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Maybe come over PAX East, guys. I am desperate to come in. I'm definitely coming to the States. Me and Colt were like so dead. I'm coming to SF. I'm seeing you, Fonz. We have to do it. I don't care about COVID, especially that
I think something is going to happen at for the whole E3 thing. Okay, and I get to say this part. Microsoft owns their whole studio. I mean, the whole arena where they hold their stuff at. So, this stuff is not like locked off to them. They can actually still hold FanFest, and actually it'll be better than E3. My whole suggestion to E3 was, to hell with the fans, stop trying to chase the dollar, and go right back to journalists and media only. You do that, you can contain whatever's going on there, because you make sure that everybody's vaccinated and boosted going inside. Everybody's in a nice, orderly situation. It's nice and airy. You can control the whole environment. You can't control the environment when you have the undocumented crowd coming in. So don't do that. Stop chasing the dollar. And I always said, once they started chasing the dollar, that was the huge downfall behind E3. Stop chasing the dollar. Go back to how it used to be. Start from the base. You had a situation that was good. You messed 100%. Up chasing the bag.
That's
100%.
That's exactly what I posed to. I forgot who I was talking to the other night in party chat, but I said that's probably what they're going to end up going back to, King.
Yeah.
And just getting back to basics for E3. And it sucks for a lot of people, the general public. But at the same time, I never felt that E3 should have been in place for the general public anyway.
Me too.
I thought it was always should have been delegated to the journalists, the developers, the publishers, that sort of things, to go there and, showcase to them what they're trying to do and what they're trying to push. Because then it just kind of became like this thing for the public, like, here's an orchestra to keep you happy. Mm-hmm. Like, back in the day, they weren't doing none of that stuff. Like, they were showing you games. This is what's coming. They were opening up the shows with stuff like that. It wasn't all this theatrics that it is now. And it's become that because of the public.
What it turned into when you're there, it turned into, what can I sell you?
Exactly.
All right. And I'm there and I see the booths and everything is a price tag. When before we were going there, and I'm fighting for the swag. I don't care what you call me. Mm-hmm. The swag was free. I had to get a second suitcase to come home with because of so much swag that I got and I received.
Oh, they give you that much? That's sick.
Yeah, when they let the public in, there was we're not giving you away anything when we can sell it to these dudes. Yeah, well, yeah.
I was gonna say, because the shows here are open for the public. People will fight for a lanyard. Remember Asa when we gave away the shirts and lanyards? They ripped it off our hands, but no one bothered visiting the website. Joke's on you. You can take over.
See, I was out there giving out free T-shirts. I went out there with 200 T-shirts, and I was just standing online handing out T-shirts, and we did a raffle and stuff like that. So I always felt that E3 was supposed to be for swag. You're supposed to go home, find out about your best video game, like those Final Fantasy bags. You stood online for a Final Fantasy bag and everybody knew what you had to endure to get whatever you had. If you had all these lanyards on your neck, they knew you endured that line to get those lanyards. That stuff is missing now because it turned to commerce. It turned into turning a buck. And once it turned into turning a buck, you start to lose track of a lot of things like security and people's addresses going out. And that started the downfall and just COVID came and finished you off. So you was already on a slippery slope. Start, reset, go back to the beginning.
Yep. And I think that's the only way they're going to get back is if they 100%. Go back to basics.
Please do. Please do. Microsoft and Sony, well, I don't know if Sony is going to do anything, but Microsoft, you need to do like a satellite show. Just host your fan fest for people, like bring fans over. Get the Iron Lords and GameOnDaily and the Colts dealers and all of that. Bring those in. Let's go in. We will fly out there. We'll get lit. Have a community. Look, you want to test our vaccine?
Don't tell them that we're going to get lit.
We'll be there.
Hey, it's only a 6-hour drive for me, so I don't have to fly nowhere.
Bro.
It's a 6-hour drive for you. It's a 6-hour flight for me.
Yeah, exactly.
6-hour flight is nothing, man. I gotta do 12 hours.
The drive is nothing to me.
Let's go. I cannot wait. If it does happen, if they actually, do what they're supposed to do, and I think that'd be a huge statement. Honestly. If Microsoft, because they have the Microsoft Studio, and Microsoft actually does that, and that is up, because Sony doesn't do a fan fest, anything like that as far as fan service goes, because they fans is ready in pocket. They just looking.
They did a few times, didn't they? Do that like twice, and then they stopped it.
You're talking about that stuff back in the days. What it was called?
I forgot, but they did something. I remember they did.
Yeah, it was a small thing, but I forgot
it was nothing like FanFest.
Yeah,
nothing like FanFest.
I've never seen any company do something like that to the public. Like, they do it for their staff. I heard what Google does for their staff is incredible, but what Microsoft did for the public is it's incredible. And then they kept it going. Shout out to Money Rumble with organizing the stuff, and Aaron Greenberg and the team. But they're actually boots on ground, and these are individuals that you get to see through your Xbox and heads and stuff of departments and developers, and you're actually talking to individuals about their game. And it humanizes the company. So after watching the documentary and stuff like that, it even humanizes it even more so. So I understand that they have the finger of the pulse of the streets, and I think they'll do something that's incredible for going forward. I honestly believe so.
Afropunk in the chat brought it up and said PlayStation Experience. They had that.
Oh yeah, that's what that was called. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Afropunk. Yeah, they need to do that. And if Microsoft, if you're watching, if you want to liaise with fans, liaise with content creators, there's an opportunity there. We need to explore. We've got enough time to do that, and I'm sure the community of content creators will come together to do that, because we need that now. COVID has been horrible, bloody things been going on for years, so we need something to break that. It's a part of our life, whether we like it or not. Well, why would we like it? But yeah, Udani, thank you so much for the membership, chat. Love Acer, but as flat gamers, learned VR fanboys call conventional gamers this will fight tooth and nail for supremacy. Hashtag pray for Spooky Sprocket. Shout out to Spooky Sprocket, by the way. He's going through some stuff.
He's in a coma right now.
Oh my God.
Massive fan of the community. Please send your thoughts and prayers out to his family. But yeah, in terms of VR, we're going to get into that, Yadani. But thank you for that. Risk it for the biscuit. Thank you for the $5 Australian. Mate, you keep moving countries. Got COVID yesterday as well. Join me, COVID brother. Called my Aussie doctor. Now on a steady diet of 6 morning coffees and cigarettes. Afternoon 12 beers and cigarettes. I think it's helping. If you want something else to kill you before COVID, it's definitely helping. Risk it, please. Stay safe, you absolute mentalist. That's one way to deal with it. Huggy Channy, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I've played several games on Xbox that do ask for a rating at the end. Also, Assassin's Creed games also used to have a rating for each mission, so you could give feedback. Oh, well, there you go, King. There's Huggy.
Yeah, but have it hardwired in to the console, right? And
like achievements.
I honestly think, the PlayStation trophy stuff and the Xbox Gamer Score stuff, that stuff can be easily linked inside to the stuff. But I think the companies are so happy with splashing 91 Metacritic and, 75 at this website and 5 stars out of whatever over here when they're giving you the accolades for the stuff. That if the actually true number came out from the public, they don't want to post that, or they don't want to wait to promote the game. Because remember, the reviewers and everybody, those dudes get the game a week before. And then right before the game is about to launch, they give you the accolades trailer. Ghost of Tsushima rated such and such by IGN. Ooh, because IGN said it, you gotta go get it. And they tried your food before you got a chance to. They said it's yummy.
They tried your food.
No.
But it would have much more impact if it said by 3 million gamers.
Yes.
Yeah. Now that's a review accolade that counts. It's more relevant this day and age. Everything is going that way. And I agree with you, King. I think native, system-wide, like achievements stuck into the system. Because if the games do that piecemeal, it's not going to have that much of an impact. But you have a global review system from fans, you're like, that's good. So yeah, no, absolutely. I do agree with that.
Think about it this way. Then they can actually pitch games to you. Like in Game Pass, this game was rated for you. Like games that you typically rate this way, and you like Netflix, games in this manner.
Recommended for you. That
right.
An algorithm,
But the algorithm starts showing you little games that, because I found there's a little game called Ulija that's inside Game Pass right now. And yeah. That game reminds me of a Atari Lynx game. Right, a 8-bit game in this 4K world, which is incredible for me. But it was recommended, right? It was added, but it was recommended. I saw it on my recommended thing, and yes, it did. It skewed straight towards me. But this way, it could be a little bit more precise with a rating system that can actually gear games that I would have never heard of that's on the free to play or demo for the weekend that'll pop up and be like, you'll be interested in this.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the future. I think you're onto something, and I think game companies would be very interested in that because that gets their product to the end.
Let me tell you something.
They want more.
if it pops up on anybody's console, I'm looking for royalties.
I knew that was coming as soon as you stopped me.
As soon as it happens,
He's
I'll
looking
be right
for that
there.
bag. Okay. And we've got video documentation of that right here.
Exactly.
Exactly. Faisal, thank you so much for the £4.49 super chat. He goes, who owns the IP for Days Gone? And I think the game could have worked really great with
Sony.
an episodic format. It felt like a real show. I haven't played it, but me and my friends argue about it. But yeah.
I got something.
Oh,
I can tell you this. If they had Game Pass, that game would have never died.
I knew it.
I can tell you
knew
that.
you were to say that. But they did. If they did have Game Pass for something like this.
And maybe Jim Ryan is working on said issue. I mean, they own the IP. So, you know, who's to say that they don't put it inside PlayStation VR? You know, it could be something that can happen with this
Ace
IP.
is blushing right now. You mentioned PlayStation VR.
I'm telling you, Jim hears, right? When Jim smells money, money can happen.
That's Jim for you.
That's off, Jim.
He chuckles a bit.
Yeah, that's true though. Hoggy, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Very generous. Was Days Gone marketed poorly? Is
Yes.
there an expectation of Sony gamers that have to be that have to be a certain way? Would the game have done better if it wasn't from PlayStation? These are fundamental questions. You said yes, King, to the marketing poorly thing.
I thought they dropped the ball on it because it went radio silent. And usually and they did that with Kena. It's a lot of games that are actually, they dropped the ball on that because that was the only game that was coming out for the rest of the year. That game should have been heavily marketed that it was coming out in September. I felt they did the same thing with Days Gone, and I didn't pick up Days Gone. So if anybody's sitting here saying, King is capping for a game that he didn't play, no, he didn't, because King told you that he didn't.
Hey, King, there's a reason why they didn't really push Kena. It's not very good.
Well,
and that's the thing. They play it internally. They see the Metacritic score it will get, and they're like, "Now we can't be bothered."
That's the problem. That's the problem in a nutshell, right there. Because and I'm gonna tell you this: everybody that I did hear that played Kena said that it was an average to plus game. That it was a decent romp if you got a chance to play it, but visually stunning in some areas. Yeah, right.
Yeah, some areas. So
that's what it showed. I played the Gunk, and I thought the Gunk was a solid game. Was it a stupendous game that was mind-blowing? No, but it was very solid in what it delivered, right? Yeah. And I thought the Gunk was marketed a little bit better than Kena. So if we're talking about Kena and versus the Gunk, right? Because the Gunk was actually day and date in Game Pass. It was on splash page on Game Pass. So anytime you went to your dashboard, it was there. You seen it. It was something. So this is the reason why Game Pass actually works. And I know Jim is working on something. But back to Days Gone. Days Gone, up until that point, because we're dealing with the old way that they market, I don't think that it was marketed in the same manner that they would market any of their high-profile AAA titles. And I also think it's how they view Bend Studios, because what they did to Bend Studios is they turned them into a support studio to actually finish off a remaster of a game. I don't think that is properly utilization of a studio of that talent. But again, I'm saying this. Maybe they do work great as a support studio going in internally to fix certain things up, because maybe they did recognize their talents in something else. From what I'm hearing is maybe they might get a chance to try something else again if this remake actually does remaster actually does really well. So, you know, they might have a second chance at life on something else, and maybe they might give the IP to another studio to see what they can do with it. I don't think Days Gone is dead, especially with 8 million engagements. Let's say engagements and whatever sales numbers it actually do, because I honestly would rather have 8 million people touch my game, see my game, and know my game than 2 million people just buy it. So that means more people has engaged with your product, and they can give you a better opinion than just the 2 million. That's my opinion of it.
Yep.
That's the importance of that metric. But yeah, it was a good chat and quite interesting ideas there, and also kind of shows that maybe Sony are a bit backwards in the manner in which they look at things. Maybe Metacritic isn't the be all and end all of things. Dan Lazaro, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. He goes, Days Gone devs are the same ones insulting fans for not buying the game and telling them to buy it at full price, not wait for sales. That was John Garvin a few months ago, and he did catch a lot of flack for that. John Garvin is supposed to be on our show soon. Well, he was, and then he wanted to take a hiatus, and I need to go back.
Because stuff like that.
That was it. He did say to me, he goes, look, once this stuff, not right now, when it dies down. Which are fair enough to you, John. We would love to have you on here to talk about that.
So you're not going to be beating me up.
I feel for you. You feel burnt. You feel burnt. I want to hear your side of the story.
He saw your video of your source videos. He's like, not today, Sam.
He's like, hell no, no way. No way am I getting this guy out there. He just took the piss out of me in my source videos. Source is parody, by the way. Please don't take it seriously. Colin Moriarty. He does not respond to my DMs anymore. I love you. Please don't hate me. But the source can't be stopped. I'm sorry. The comedy all the way. You're gonna cancel Dave Chappelle? You might as well cancel me. No way, not happening. Not happening. I will never stop the source, but I will never make a source video about King David because he will take my knees ever in my life. Understand that, King.
I'll be right there.
Loyal for you.
The power of the power of Game Pass compels you.
The power of Game Pass compels all of us.
My wife loves that one, by the way.
Yeah, does she? Oh,
yeah.
I have to bring it back, and just in this. Yeah, I will definitely will. In this week, we had big news. Finally, Asa, it's your glow up. This is the moment you've been waiting for. Before the announcement, you were even talking about it because we were talking about 2022. What's going to be big? What's coming in? And you said, I'm really excited for PSVR 2. Almost as if you knew. Like you. Yes, this is why I'm going to love this chat. Almost as if you knew that on CES PlayStation we're going to talk about it. I looked at the specs. I saw some things, but I know, you know me, our brother Cognito, shout out to him. He's on the Oculus propaganda like mad. Since he joined Oculus, congrats to you, everyone has been getting VR headsets, boomsticks, someone else is buying it. I'm like, is he buying it for people? Is this marketing working?
Well,
what?
It was my solstice gift, so yes, I
yeah, really? Oh, okay. Oh, bless you for doing that. But everyone's talking about VR. VR is starting to kick it up a notch. Asa, you have been a proponent of VR. Like Yodani in the chat, you've been insulting us. You call us pancake gamers or whatever the hell it is you call
flat
us.
Gamers, yeah.
Flat gamers, like we haven't got any curves.
Ridiculous, man.
Talk to
whack.
us, man.
All whack.
You only back gaming. Go on, Asa. You're such a connoisseur of VR. Tell me. I'm not, you know me, man. I'm open-minded about VR. I really like it. You tell me, what's this PSVR about? What are the specs? Are they impressive? Because you seem to be waxing lyrical about it on Twitter, but I don't know why.
Not just on Twitter. I did like a 30+ minute video on it. So it depends what you want to talk about. The specs of the PlayStation VR 2 are mightily impressive, and I don't know. Most people probably don't have that much experience of VR at the moment. I can tell you I've got a 4K OLED VR headset. So the PlayStation VR 2 is a 4K OLED HDR. Massively, impressively spec'd device that's going to be quite cheap, by the way.
Why? How do you know?
It doesn't even include headphones. That's how I know. Doesn't even include headphones. They've cut as much cost as they can off of this thing. You have to consider, if you look at the specs of the device, it's massively impressive. But if you consider the price of an Oculus Quest 2, which is a serious competitor, that not only has a whole load of onboard hardware, it's also 2 years back in time. The PlayStation VR is 2 years ahead in time, so the specs are going to be more advanced, and it cuts a lot of that hardware out. Obviously, if you consider the price of the PlayStation 5, it's a more expensive, more high-end device in total. But as an accessory, no, it's not going to be like $700 or whatever people are speculating at the moment. It just isn't. It's going to be $300, $350.
Yeah, I think it's going to be around $400.
It's going to be $900.
$900?
No.
900?
No. Hear me out. In total.
With
Okay,
PS1,
Right.
Yeah, with the PlayStation.
In total. See, so I made people choke just like that. Pause.
was the
When I
COVID.
said that 900 price tag, people were going, crazy. And I said, listen, you can't omit something that you don't have. You have a lot of guys that's capping for the PlayStation VR 2 that doesn't have a PlayStation 5. So take that cost, because don't think you're gonna run out there with your PlayStation 4. Jim Ryan is not talking to you. When he was standing on stage, he was the conversation. This is when he believes in generations. So this conversation wasn't for you. The conversation he was having for prospected PlayStation 5 owners and current PlayStation 5 owners. Now, this machine is going to be tethered to that PlayStation 5. There's a reason why there's a wire hooked up to it. So at the same time, like Asa was saying, it's going to be heavily cut cost, right? So you're going to get that bare bones system that gives you everything that Asa was talking about, 4K system, right? And each eye is, what is it, Asa? Each eye?
Yeah.
It's 2K by 2K for each eye.
And it also has ocular tracking.
Yep, eye tracking,
Haptic
feedback. That's a weird one. Like, it's going to buzz on your head, but sure.
Exactly. But I mean, if something hits you in the head or you get shot in the head or something, there's different things that they can work out with it. And then there's the controllers, the Sense controllers. I think they're going to bring a lot to the party with it. $400 is a decent average, good price for the machine. $399. But again, $500, $499 is for a PlayStation 5. Please don't talk about that skinless thing that doesn't have a disc drive. I don't consider that. I just want a disc. I don't trust them. So again, I want a disc drive with my PlayStation. So I'm going to the higher model. $900 is the entry price for this console hybrid collaboration for you to actually get inside this VR, right, for the PlayStation. We cannot sit there and yell out it's $400 because it is not. It's $900.
It just, if you already have the PlayStation 5, this thing is going to be $400 because they're going to drop it at the same price they dropped the first one. And I think they're going to take a bit of a loss on this. I do. Because I think for everything it's supposed to do, if it's touting all these specs, it's going to be worth more than $400. I think this thing is going to be a $400 thing to sell on its own if you already have a PlayStation 5. But yes, King, if you need a PlayStation 5, it's $900. You're going to have to get, and a game. Everything. Yeah. It's going to be $1,000 by the time you get a game and everything. Tax. Yeah. And then poor Australians out there, $2,000 for you. It's just crazy. The pricing, even at $400, asking for something. Let's face it, it's still niche. I'm sorry, Asa, but the VR is still a niche product.
Bonds, you don't need to be sorry. I like niche. I don't care about the mainstream. I care about the nerd stream. Niche away.
And that's fine. Because if you look at this situation, Oculus has sold like hotcakes over Christmas. And part of that reason, though, was there wasn't a lot of consoles out there to be bought. So Oculus took off. And great. That's awesome. But I don't think it's going to be mainstream for years to come. I think there's a lot of hurdles. Everybody that I know, even that has one, well, not everybody, but still there's a lot of people out there that are like me that get sick on the thing still.
Oh, and that won't be with the PlayStation.
And that's something that they still have to overcome, is people like me with motion sickness, because I would love to try VR and really get into it. The unit that I tried, granted, it was one of those Samsung Gears. Remember those really cheap things? Yeah. I got sick, and I was sick for days after that.
Well, see, Fonz, the reason why the PlayStation actually is a better product, or the PlayStation VR 2 is a better product, the ocular tracking is actually what will stop you from getting the motion sickness. And the view, what is it, 110 field of view is actually the best, it will be the best in class for the view. What they're proposing, it's incredible. What they talked about in the package, it's good. I feel that the PlayStation will usher in a higher level of fidelity in VR games because of the PlayStation's take on AAA titles. From what I've seen from the Horizon, the little snippet that they did show of it, I saw a level of detail that was inside that world that I haven't seen in the Quest 2. Now, I've played my Quest 2, and the Quest 2 is not the Rift. It's not, tethered to my PC, but I can do AirLink on it, and I can play, Half-Life and stuff like that, Alex. That stuff is really good, but the PlayStation natively will be able to produce at a higher fidelity, and because the actual hardware itself, it's the PlayStation, they will have a more robust palette to work with, opposed to a certain the Quest 2, which is probably the nearest competitor, if not the only competitor in that market to play with, because the Quest 2 is a standalone condensed system. You pick it up, you buy it, you turn it on, you play it, and that's why it was selling like hotcakes. These consoles wasn't available. This thing was in heavy rotation in sales. It was available in stores, and the price point got you in, and it was an all-in-one unit. So it was just like a console. You brought it for little Timmy or little Jane, and you gave it to them, and they just threw it on their head, and it was ready to go from the rip. This is the difference, and that's the biggest barrier, right? So the entry point for them is $300. We in.
Yeah, that is a huge barrier.
$900, you're in.
Yeah, I agree with you, King, and I've heard for years now that they are trying to work on the VR units to work well with people like me that get motion sickness, because that is a huge hurdle. Yeah. And if they get to that point, the next biggest step is, entry point, price point. Then you got to look at, just getting the thing on people's heads, getting people interested in this so-called niche product right now. And eventually it will happen. I think VR has huge potential, huge. Even though I'm somebody who has been I've laughed at VR before and stuff. No, I see the potential down the road. VR is a big future. It has a huge future in gaming. But there's other aspects of VR that I like too. I would love to go visit other countries and stuff through the VR. Yeah. That sort of stuff really interests me. Hiking with VR, things like that, really cool things that you can do in the comfort of your own home. That kind of stuff really interests me. And I see huge potential, but you're right. $900 if you want the PSVR 2 with the PlayStation. That's a big ask.
Yeah, because everybody's gonna sit there and be like, "No, King, it's not $900." You already paid that $500 for your PlayStation.
Yeah,
and don't fake it, because if you brought it from StockX, you a GM, buddy. And if you was one of those dudes that messed with me in the beginning, I got you for $3K easy. So now what we're looking at, what's going to happen here? I'm not shooting down the ship. Trust me, I'm going to be one of the first individuals with this piece of tech, because the tech is going to be cutting edge for what it's giving you. Now also remember that Quest won't be able to hold a candle to it once that thing is paired up with that PlayStation 5. Yeah. Literally, that PlayStation VR 2 out the box, they're not using no crappy move controllers that wasn't made for this. These Sense controllers is made with this hardware in mind. So just the same way the Quest controllers is made with that hardware in mind, is going to be so intuitive. Now that ocular tracking, for people that have nausea problems, and you sit down, once your eye tracking, it doesn't feel foreign anymore, where you move your head and it takes a second. That's where your stomach turns, because you're actually moving your head and your eyes are trying to figure out and orient yourself. Your head is disoriented, right? Because you're in this world. But once that one-to-one happens with the ocular tracking, I think that was the key point. Because we always wanted to know what information that they were bringing to the table, and we always felt that the DualSense and the haptic was going to be somewhere in there in the controllers or something like that, and we always knew that the 3D audio was going to work in some form or fashion. So we kind of understand that they're going to sell you a headset to put on. They're not going to poo-poo it and give you cheap headsets like the Quest, right? But we also was trying to figure out what was going to be the resolution. Now that they knocked down the resolution to make sure that it's 4K, that HDR on top of that, that's a game changer. With the ocular tracking, I can throw my money at the screen fast enough to tell you that I think that this thing is going to have the backing of at least 8 to 10 of their studios. And if they're doing Horizon, that's showing you that they're serious about it. And that was far along enough to show you a AAA type title with the graphics that you expect to come from Sony in a story-based type of world with wonder. I'm sold.
Yeah,
That's
but
the
this
thing.
whole yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Fun.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, that's the thing about this whole thing is, to me at first it was kind of crazy that, they really put like a lot of effort into the first PSVR. Yeah. And I was thinking, well, it didn't sell very well. So why would they create a PSVR 2? But it's that potential I was talking about earlier in the future of gaming with VR and all that I think Sony is really trying to push here. And I get that. But at the same time, they're not really making boatloads of money with the PSVRs. I mean, and they probably won't initially. But I think down the line, it does have that potential. And that's what they're trying to do. And I want to ask Asa, though. Yeah, I wanted to ask Asa, what is the most exciting thing about this unit for you?
I wanted to ask you that as well.
So I already live in a world of VR as often as I can. I absolutely love the technology. I followed it from those early headsets that you were talking about. I had the first Oculus Rift. I've seen that technology advance and advance and advance. I've got the Reverb G2 now, which has the 4K OLED screens and basically PC to go with it. And it is the best way to game. I like pancake games as well. I can go back and play pancake games, but the cutting edge is virtual reality. There's no comparison to sitting in a car and racing. Even Forza Horizon 5, I can't get that excited about Forza Horizon 5 because I played racing games in virtual reality where you're sitting in the car, and it is an entirely different situation. The PlayStation VR 2 is... See, I really like the Quest 2, but like King says, the Quest 2 is limited by the fact that the hardware is strapped to your face. It's a mobile phone, essentially, APU that's delivering those worlds. So while the screen is actually really nice, it's not very good at darks. So if you're in a cave or something, it's not very good. But besides that, you've got a screen in the Oculus Quest that doesn't have all these grid lines. It's not hard to make things out. But the worlds are relatively low fidelity because they have to be. It's running on a mobile phone. PlayStation 5, like King said, completely mitigates that because you've got a bit of hardware that's this big that you could never strap to your face. That's rendering those worlds for you. Right? So that's an entirely different ballgame for a start. There's some really interesting things about the PlayStation 5. The ocular tracking, I don't actually think will help that much with motion sickness. VR headsets, from my mind, are already... There isn't a delay when you look around or when you move your eyes. The ocular tracking is more important. Sony mentioned some interesting examples in terms of it being used as an input in games. So you can see that happening where there's an NPC walking around and you look at them and they acknowledge the fact that you just glanced at them. Or in Gaz's place, in that case, they'd probably tell you off for where you're looking, right? That kind of thing is just going to be immersive.
That's awesome. See, that kind of stuff is what I like. Yeah.
It's also, they mentioned foveated rendering as one of the techniques that's actually really important for this headset. And foveated rendering, for those that don't know, it's basically your eyes actually really see a tiny, tiny area at maximum clarity in the real world. Like if you're reading, you need to track those letters because it's almost a pinprick that you actually see in maximum clarity. So with eye tracking and foveated rendering, in theory, they can throw all of that resource into that pinprick and have diminishing turns around it, which is performance and it's boring. But when you consider the fact
for VR,
sort of, but when you consider the fact that this thing connects with a single USB-C cable and has 4K HDR screens, that thing is putting in work, along with all the compression and all the rest of it. But what's really, really interesting to me is that the bandwidth that you can get over that USB-C cable, and King knows this because he's got a Quest 2, you can play Quest 2 on a PC by USB-C or wireless. You can play it wirelessly, and King was mentioning that that's how he's been playing Half-Life Alyx. Everything about PlayStation VR 2 to me says that they've put so much effort into delivering exactly what works with that console, and I think we'll get, for a start, I think we will get a wireless accessory with a battery, so people that are concerned about cables, it might not come out launch day because this is a
Wi-Fi
slightly
6.
Yeah, exactly. It's got Wi-Fi 6 in the
yeah,
PlayStation.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't understand why they put Wi-Fi 6 in that box. And I sat and I thought about it and I was like, that's probably for that VR.
But they got rid of Wi-Fi 6 in the newer consoles now.
Did they?
I thought they got rid of it. I thought they cheapened out on that.
No, I didn't think they
I thought they did.
They did?
I don't know. I have to look that up. But I
Not
think
something
I
I've heard, but if anybody can look that up and confirm, that would be interesting. But for me, like, that's...
No, I got the old one.
I had already theorized like a long time ago. I think I said it was on Ains's Bitcast.
Yeah,
So
on
I
us.
said that I
Yeah,
thought
on us.
and on yours, I said that I thought that the wireless was coming. And even after the point where they said it's got a single cable, you look at what that single cable is, and other details like this thing doesn't have headphones, right?
Yeah.
It's got an audio jack, but it's literally out the box, got no sound, and that's.
And
even the Quest has
controllers
sound,
will be
right?
separate as well.
Yeah.
No, the controllers will be packed in. You'll buy them.
For each ear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But that just says that they are stripping every cost that they can. It's not a problem. I'm not saying this is a negative. They're stripping every cost that they can and really focusing where it matters. And then you can buy those headphones. You're going to need some headphones, but you can buy your headphones. You can buy your wireless battery pack and play it as a proper, fantastic VR experience. And if they've nailed it, and the tech that they're pushing, okay, the screens are really nice, but this foveated rendering, this USB-C cable, all of this stuff together, if they have nailed that, it's just going to be an incredible device. And it's going to mean more for me, even if I didn't buy PlayStation VR 2, and I want it, so I'm probably going to get it. Even if I didn't, the fact that Sony are making this viable for developers should reinvigorate PC VR as well, which has stagnated in terms of games for a long time. So for me, it's excitement all round.
I want to tap into that a little bit about the potential there, but before I do that, I want to quickly read these super chats before they scroll away. Jiu-Jitsu 50, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. King David and Jay Fonzarelli are two of my favorites.
I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Mad love. Z Black Rider with a $10 Canadian. I assume you know him, Fonz, because he says salute to the king. But who's this Fonz guy? Z Black Rider, you know who he is.
No, he's a great. He's actually a supporter of mine. He's a real great guy.
He's trolling out here. I didn't know. I was a bit nervous there. Hoggy Chandy, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. King is making the right points here, doesn't he always? The problem with VR is the psychological issues of removing from the wow, he's gone to the full matrix, Target Channel. It will take some interesting haptics and feedback loops to make it not feel bad. Hoggy, let's talk about that. Look, I'm not conspiracy theorist. Well, maybe, but I'm a bit worried. One, I've got the Oculus Quest 2, but I hate Facebook. I hate Mark Zuckerberg.
So then don't do the messenger stuff. Cut it out. Don't even add Facebook to that stuff.
You can't.
Don't do it.
You can't. But
yes, you could.
Your eye tracking, you're giving up so much information.
Oh, man, stop it.
Hey, real quick, I just want to point it out. I got some bad info. The PS5, the new model, does still have Wi-Fi 6. I didn't want to, because you're going to get people out there. Fonz lied. He said this. Look, I misheard something. It does have Wi-Fi 6.
Yeah, I think that, like I said, Asa brought my brain to that whole Wi-Fi 6 thing. I'm getting right back to your Facebook slander. But the Asa brought my brain to that whole thing, and I started researching the thing, and then I already knew they were going to tether it. All right. But there's absolutely reasons for certain things for why Sony is doing exactly what they're doing. One, they're not selling standalone systems. All right, so you will have to have a PlayStation. Let's get that straight. Yeah. Now, if you're on Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6 is inside the console, and they have like some type of Wi-Fi adapter that you can place on top of the headset, which will probably be very, very small, to be honest with you, that will probably add only ounces to the headset itself. And you can play that way with Wi-Fi 6. It's that fast enough that it can mitigate any lag that you think that you will perceive, right? And if you're on the same network, it will actually run a whole lot faster. So I think Sony is testing that stuff. I think they understand what they're going up against when they're going up against the Quest 2. And that big wire thing, it's a problem. It's a prohibitive for a lot of VR veterans, like Asa, who's actually got a chance to play with the Quest 2, excuse me, and understands that the wireless part was the big selling aspect. Like he said, it's a cell phone on your face. You know, use a Snapdragon, the Qualcomm Snapdragon. It's a powerful processing unit, but again, it's not more powerful than the CPU that's in the PlayStation 5, and it's 2 years behind. Just like Asa said, he knows his stuff. He has a way more powerful headset that is sitting right next to him, opposed to the Quest 2. So he's more advanced when it comes to VR. Now, the stuff that VR actually did bring at CES this year that I was super excited for was these gloves that you put on and this chest piece that you put on, and those gloves, and I know Asa probably knows the name of the gloves, those gloves allow you to feel the virtual world physically. So if you go to grab a like this water bottle, you won't be able to crush the water bottle because you'll hold it in your hand. You can feel the tension in it, and it won't allow you to close your hand on it, so it actually feels like it's in your hand. And that takes immersion to a higher level. Asa said he sat down in VR cars that put stuff to shame. Yes, if you're sitting inside something, and I've put my girl inside the VR world, and you get a chance to look around, the level of immersion is something. That's why he call us pancakers, because we're living in a 2D world where he's actually living in a whole 360 world,
new extra dimension,
right? He's and don't they got the smellometer thing too?
I forgot that, but yeah. That. Not on the PlayStation, hopefully. It is. There's a mask. It does hot and cold. It does smell. It does all sorts. Yeah, that's interesting.
Listen, they're trying to push VR into a whole different spectrum, and I'm glad that this year's CES show actually showed VR, and PlayStation is going to lead that charge in certain areas. Because a lot of the VR dudes are on the edge saying, but we don't have those AAA titles. You get a lot of demo games and games that should be sold at $12 that are going for $40. I mean, I have Darth Vader, those games, and we watch wrestling and stuff in VR, and you're right there and everything. There needs to be breakthrough titles, AAA titles, to start pushing this genre forward. And you talked about the PlayStation and Sony investing in this. I think Sony has picked up the mantle to understand if they don't push this genre forward, this genre can get stagnated with a lot of filler-aware games. And I think they're taking a charge, because I'm not capping. When I saw the horizon, I put down my controller, I sat back, and I said, I'm going to soak all of this in. And I started looking at every aspect of the world of what they were showing and trying to visualize myself in said world. And I said, PlayStation is on the right path right now. And I can wait to see like a God of War side quest, something to come out for VR, because the games that they did give us on the regular PlayStation VR was really good stuff for me.
Yeah. The thing is that this is the point. This is the point where Jeff Grubb was on Twitter, and I said, and apparently the memo's changed now, because they make or break is these fuller experiences.
Yes.
The Half-Life Alyxes of the space, and I wonder. I have to respect PlayStation a lot here. They're taking risks. They're pushing this avenue forward, whereas Microsoft is sitting back and observing. Obviously, it's still got its fingers in the pie in the VR space, albeit in in the PC space more, or completely, I guess. But I respect PlayStation more here because they're taking a risk here. I do agree with Asa, the zen of gaming is in VR. I want the Ready Player One experience. When you talk about the gloves, the suit and stuff, one day we'll be just like, you ready to game? All right, let's it. Boom, just strap it up and we're in the game. That's the zen of the gaming experiences. And I think PlayStation should be given the accolade if we ever attain that level for taking that risk. And I really respect PlayStation for doing that. And I hope PSVR 2 does, because when Asa, you are excited about it, I get excited about it because you're there with your monocle and your wine glass. You're just like, you're the connoisseur there, like, this is VR.
With the VR on.
Yeah, with the VR headset on, swirling his cup. And I get excited because you told me to get that Lenovo headset. Then I moved into the Quest 2 and I loved it. I still love it. I'm actually supposed to play with Cog today.
Yep,
Add him
I'll
on
be there.
and play PokerStars VR. We have to do that. How funny would that be?
I want to play Demino.
Demio, yeah.
I need to play that.
Demio, yeah.
I need to play that. I don't know any games. I'm going to play. We're going to reach out after that. But that's the Zen of gaming. Will we get that? That's the big question. Because people in chat are saying.
Let me do more.
That,
so
yeah, that's it. Go for it.
Just a couple of things. So we only touched on motion sickness there. I said that I don't think the ocular tracking will fix it because I think headsets are already responsive enough. Motion sickness is still going to be a real issue, and it's not so much about looking around, it's about moving. The PlayStation VR Gen 1, actually, much as I respect Sony for what they did with it, it did a lot of harm in terms of perception of motion sickness. Because you were restricted to facing forwards, which meant that you had to move and you had to turn. There was no room space. You couldn't even step to the side. The camera warning would come up saying you need to move back. In terms of motion sickness, that thing was a disaster. It was really difficult to play anything in it. PlayStation VR 2 and other headsets, Quest 2, pretty much anything, have a massive advantage in that you can turn around. That's the primary thing that will make you sick straight away, is trying to turn around with an analog stick. As soon as the world starts spinning around you, and I get a lot of motion sickness, right? I'm speaking here as a VR fan that suffers motion sickness.
Oh, okay.
Being able to turn around is a game changer, absolutely. It massively opens up what you can and can't do, but it is still
resolution a bump? Resolutions help too, right?
Not for me. Frame rate, yes, but we already had good frame rates. Resolution, not so much for the motion sickness. It's understanding what movements are going to trigger it. So developers have got better in terms of like what kind of fixed points will mitigate it for a lot of people. Games are less nausea-inducing than they used to be, but it is still real, and it is something that PlayStation VR 2 is going to face, no doubt about it. The other thing is everyone's talking about the games, and this is actually an area of slight concern for me. So I'll do the negative and then the positive. Okay. That they showed Horizon Call of the Mountain was a shame to me. I would be way more confident if they came on that stage and said Horizon Forbidden West is playable in VR. Not the little thing that they showed. It looked pretty, but you were stuck on a raft. And obviously this is a teaser and we don't know what the game is going to be, but it screamed tech demo. It screamed using IP for a tech demo, which is exactly what we don't want for VR. Sony have previously, Jim Ryan has previously said that they're going to look to dovetail their development studios more so that their AAA games are made with VR in mind. Which is why I would hope that is what they'd put their like best foot forward. Show one of your major games has been developed with VR in mind. Show me what it's going to look like rather than this side project. The plus side,
even GT7, I'm just surprised.
GT7 would be a great example, but the plus side is that they do have Insomniac. So they've got Firesprite working on VR. Insomniac made 5 Oculus exclusives at the same time as making Spider-Man and Ratchet and Clank and all of the rest. So there are going to be dedicated VR studios as well as this attempt to dovetail with their AAA studios. So I think there will be games. I just hope Horizon Call of the Mountain isn't the direction that they're taking overall, but we'll see.
Well, let's hope it's not just, because immediately when I saw it, I thought of like a Jurassic Park ride, at an amusement park. You're just sitting in one area looking around, oh, dinosaurs, that sort of thing. But I don't know if it's actually something like that. Hopefully you're going to be able to, run around, do things, combat, all that. I'm pretty sure you will. But yeah, when I first saw that, I was like, really? You're going to be like just looking around on a raft? Like, look at that.
I don't think that you'll use Alloy at any point in time. I think you have a different protagonist.
That's what I think too. Yeah.
But I think the bow and arrow will come into play because it's something like pulling out a quiver, and you're actually pulling in. You can feel a tension with the controller. I think PlayStation is going to jump in this both feet forward, and this is my expectation. This is my hope, because I think, and not even I think, I'm pretty much know the working mind of Jim Ryan, right? And how he pitches of stuff. Exactly. But he knows that he occupies this space right now. So a lot of people say that the PlayStation VR, the first one, was a failure. It takes a lot of gumption to put your research and development into an area and actually solidify yourself in this space. And I'm gonna tell you this: if anybody thinks that PlayStation VR 1 was a failure, go play Resident Evil 7 in that thing, and then you come back to me and you tell me exactly how the hell you feel after playing it. Because if you could sit down throughout the whole experience, God bless you. I'll shake your hand. I wasn't man enough. I took it off and I played it regular. I pancaked it. But these games could be co-developed like that. Capcom saw to it that they were able to put their stuff in VR, and they did it with that in mind going forward. So I think this is what Ace is talking about. If they're developing games, develop it with VR in mind, so that this game is pancake compatible, VR compatible, right? So you get one game with the both compatible aspects, and I think that takes your $900 and gives you value there, because now you purchase an accessory that is not thought of as a second thought, but it's thought of as a first thought. So when you get God of War and you have a VR experience that's built inside of it because it was thought about while they was developing the game, you purchase one game, but you got two. And if you happen to have the VR, well, there goes the value in your VR, and there goes the value in your $900. And then any game going forward, what I also like, what they talked about on that same stage that probably blew over and blew past people, they are bringing tournaments. VR tournaments would be absolutely amazing. Imagine me and you playing tennis, or me and you having a boxing game, or me and you playing hockey, or something like that. Listen, PlayStation is at a point right now, if they can if they can deliver on said promise, they can make that $900 value proposition and purchase into something astronomical, and can take the PlayStation in a totally different direction. Everybody wants them to take it in one direction. Let's remove it from that direction. Let's take them to where they want to be in this special space. In the special space, I think they can deliver. We said that they deliver story-driven narrative stories, games that play like movies. Well, VR will definitely encapsulate that and make that a whole lot better. Could you imagine playing The Last of Us 2 with a VR component in that world? I think that's where we're going.
I think you're 100% with the whole, they've got gumption in that. That's what I was getting at earlier too, is with Sony really pushing VR. This is Sony in the gaming space doing this. They are going to be a huge catalyst in pushing the whole technology going forward. I mean, they may not have the best VR unit out there, but they are going to be they're going to be responsible for pushing this even further than most other companies out there. That's just the facts.
That's what. Then the $70, fine. I'm happy to pay for it.
Yes, I just got to say one thing. The only knock I have about the Quest 2 is this: there's no try before you buy. Some stuff you probably get a little demo here or whatever the hell. I'm spoiled. I'm spoiled by Game Pass. All right. I need a plethora of things. I will pay a fee. I want to be able to play as much as I can, as much as I want. And this is where Microsoft can invade the VR space, right? And without even making a headset.
That's true.
Without making a headset. You have a ton of studios, and some of your studios actually have made some VR games. If you look in their history, just dedicate those studios to do that. Get your Game Pass on there with a VR component inside that situation on Oculus. Make sure that you have Game Pass on Oculus, because that would sell itself. And if I can play VR games made from Microsoft in an Oculus situation, that helps me out, because I'm going to tell you this. One thing that pisses me off is every time I go inside to play the Oculus and I got to ring up another charge. So $24 here, $24 here, $24 here. That starts to add up, and it starts to sound like I don't really feel like playing your unit, because every time I do, I hear a swipe card going down, and that kind of pisses me off.
And who's to say that Microsoft themselves can't open the box up later for third-party support VR units? That can happen. I mean, essentially, it is these new consoles are mini computers. That's what they are, and so I could see that happening in the future. And it's just right now, I think Microsoft has taken a wait-and-see approach with VR because of the whole it being niche. But I think in the future, like we've all been saying today, there is a place for it in the future of gaming, and anything can happen there.
Let me praise and rant about Microsoft at the same time.
Okay.
So first, I just need to rewind back to Alloy. Hard A, please. Me and Aloy share this in common. It's a concern. It's a big hard A. Aloy. It'll help you remember. Microsoft though. So when I said earlier that I've got a 4K OLED VR headset at the moment, all the software for that is Microsoft. Right? It's made by HP, but it's a Windows mixed reality headset. And it's Windows mixed reality with Steam that I use to play Half-Life Alyx on it and all the rest of that. Microsoft have put work into VR. This is the positive, by the way. They put work in there. They've got all the technology good to go, and they could put that over on the Xbox if they want to. Is the negative is Microsoft put work into that, but they never let me play Forza Horizon 5. They never let me play Forza Horizon 4. They never let me play Forza Horizon 7. They've never done Halo. The only Microsoft game that I can play in VR, excluding a terrible Halo tech demo, is Flight Simulator, because Asobo insisted. They put the work in themselves, and that one was brought to VR. But otherwise, Microsoft have said nice things about supporting VR in the PC space, and they've left it to starve for content when they've had fantastic opportunities to support their own ecosystem there. So that's a negative on Microsoft. The other one, as much as we love it when Microsoft acquires studios and tell us all of their games are going to be on Game Pass now, when you talk about VR content, Ninja Theory made Hellblade VR, Bethesda made Skyrim VR, Fallout VR, Doom VR, Doom 3 VR. In Exile made the Bard's Tale VR. Every time that Microsoft acquire a studio that dabbles in VR, they are suffocating that content. And I love these games coming to Game Pass. But I wish that Microsoft would do more than talk about it. I understand they don't. I'm sure this is a little segue into should Xbox respond. For Microsoft, their massive drive within gaming at the moment is Game Pass, is cloud, is bringing games to everyone, everywhere, and tearing down barriers. So I absolutely understand why Microsoft are not pursuing VR, because VR puts up a whole load of new barriers, which is why it's not mainstream. VR puts up massive barriers for normal people to go and play games. So I understand Microsoft not doing it.
Yeah.
Just they're big enough that I wish they would support it that little bit where they have already got the headsets. And then I'd be happy.
Absolutely. K. Asante, thank you so much for the $10 super checkers. Loving this VR chat, gents. Shout out K. Asante. Fonz Gear VR was the worst first attempt. The better hardware, the less chance for motion sickness. Try the Quest 2. That's the new minimum standard. FPS frames per is the key.
I know anything will be a problem for me because there are still some first-person shooter games, flat games, we'll call them, okay, that still get to me sometimes. Like, I can't play Dying Light, and I've tried. Even at 60 frames, it doesn't work. And I really want to play that game, the second one especially, but I can't.
Yeah, no.
Just the same with Mirror's Edge. That's another one I could not play.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Anytime it's like there's fast movements or parkour elements, forget it.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I think VR Mal will get you sick. Doovie, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I honestly prefer Kinect to the Xbox One version of the PSVR. Okay, I will get the PSVR too if they get some of the rumored games like Half-Life Alyx. It just boils down to the games argument, as always. Risky for the biscuit, thank you for the $2 super chat. Yes, PSVR sounds sexy. 1 hour long games? Nope. Again, it's the game.
Not 1 hour games.
Yeah, exactly. Paradise Decay, question for you, Asa. Thank you for the super chat. Have you tried motion sickness bands?
I've heard about those.
I think Erica used that for Halo.
Definitely have, but
weird.
my number one solution to motion sickness is ginger beer.
That's my guy.
Ginger beer with a little rum, you'll feel fine.
That's right. There it is.
Jeez.
Makes everything feel a little better,
Jamaican
doesn't
Jim
it?
definitely approves.
No, it's not Ray Nephew, man.
He said some ginger beer, some rum. I'll be seeing that later.
Oh, Asa, you messy, man. But yeah,
It's science.
The second
He said it's science. He balances out.
You need to be of age, folks. I just tell you that.
Oh, don't do that. Don't put rum in there if you can't drink it on regular. Don't do that.
Oh man, Big Cloud is loving it in the chat. Shout out to Blaze in the chat. I see you,
Blaze.
Yeah,
I'll be looking for your knees in 2022. I told you what's gonna happen. You doubted me. Yo, Blaze, ship those knees to Mount Vernon. Westchester loves your knees.
Yeah.
Listen, and make sure. All right? No ashy knees.
No ash. No ash.
Better not be ashy.
No ash.
Oh, sorry. Oh man, Blaze, I did not plan that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I want that video too.
come on, Blaze. Oh man, so that's the thing. You know, everyone chat. I'm excited about PSVR. I really like PlayStation doing it. Should Xbox follow suit? You're right, Ace. I think you succinctly put that to bed because Xbox has to get its house in order, and right now it's trying to get the diversity in there. But, yeah,
Can I respond to Asa?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so all those games you said they got, they sitting on them. All they got to do is flip a switch, throw it in there.
They can. They can.
Right? Literally, if they, let's say they're talking with Facebook and Quest 3, because you already know Quest 3 is coming. As soon as that PlayStation drop, that Quest 3 go bust it right upside his head. Like, come here, get over here. So
Get over here. Support our console.
what do you do if it's about the games? And you said Microsoft has at least 5 off top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5 off top. Some real heavy hitters. Let's get it.
I mean, but it's not. Look, will that actually happen though? Because I don't think that will happen this gen. Xbox is waiting out and seeing it. A lot of people in the chat actually support that, King. They're saying, "Well,
okay.
You have to prove it to me." This tech.
And remember, I'm telling you this, right? How can I say this without sounding like too much of a thug?
Just sound like a thug.
Right? So it's if you out there doing your thing, I can throw my stuff with you and you can just make sure everything gets sold and you bring that back to me and we good, right? So you out there doing your thing. So if Oculus is already doing their thing, it ain't nothing to throw my hat in the ring with them and stuff gets worked out if it makes it a more attractive option. Now, let me tell you something. Oculus is about to have their back up against the wall.
Because of PSVR too?
Yep.
Yes, it's not a joke. Like, it's not a game. Jim ain't standing on the stage they were talking about cars, okay?
Yeah.
So get this part. Jim came out to talk about PSVR. And this is the reason why. It's going to really push the industry forward. See, because right now, the Quest had a great Christmas. And they're running around and they still probably got the Santa Claus hats on and screaming like, yeah, we did it this year. When that PlayStation hit and those games hit and you see the fidelity on that stuff, and this is exactly what every VR magazine is talking about and the games that's in that space. It's not going to be no 1-hour games, man. This is going to be real games that you're going to get a chance to play. I'm going to tell you again, PlayStation VR 1 and put that Resident Evil in there. It's not available on the Quest. All right, you want to play some Resident Evil, you're going to have to play Resident Evil 4 and it doesn't look as good. So understand that. Yeah. When they have the games that's going to push forward, they're going to have to look to somebody that has at least 5 or 6 games that they can throw up against these dudes really quickly to come out with some heavy hitters. And if they do partner with Microsoft in a situation like that, Microsoft has nothing to lose. The games is already in their catalog. So there's absolutely no sweat off their back. It's a flip of a switch. Hey, you want to put Game Pass on your joint? They peddling Game Pass everywhere. So this settles 2 things. The problem that I have when I put on my Quest is I'm a Game Pass sucker. So I have definitely been, if I don't have Game Pass on something, if it doesn't have a subscription-based something, I don't want to see it. Because I would like to go into my Netflix type of bag. I like to see all the movies I could watch. Right? Yeah. Maybe not gonna watch all of them, but I know I got a lot to watch. Like when we go home at night, me and my wife say, "Oh, what we gonna watch?" I want to do that with the Quest. If they can do that, that can tip the scales in that favor, because that PlayStation, Jim is working on a PlayStation equivalent to Game Pass. If it has VR in there, you added value to that $900 proposition. The man is chasing money, and is that the way to get more money out of one package? You can turn a $500 deal into damn near a $1,200 deal with whatever their subscription base is, their PlayStation VR, and the games and accessories or whatever stuff that you add to it. You can turn that $500 deal into a $1,200 deal. That's what Jim is trying to do.
But will Jim do that, though? I mean, honestly, because Risky for the Biscuit has a good super chat here. He says, will they have back compat on PSVR 2? Will they play the first games? He says he doubts it unless it's $10. So, $10 per game. Look, the thing is they do need a variety of games here with VR. They need to push good quality games to really get this thing moving into the mainstream and all that. It's great to have that selection of choice in a Game Pass style service or Spartacus over there. But I don't know if they'll actually do something like that with the VR games, because they don't even want to do it with their own games. They'll put the old games in that Spartacus service, but they don't really want to push their new games day and date just yet. They're still keeping an eye on Game Pass. They see what it's doing over here, but eventually I think they'll get closer and closer to that day and date. But who knows with this VR right now, especially with how niche it is.
Yeah. No, it is. I agree with you. They're reluctantly doing it, Fonz. They do. They barely do it with their core games. You're absolutely right. So VR will probably take a while. And also, the proof will be in the pudding. The burden is on PlayStation to prove that these games aren't going to be 1 hour, really expensive games. Because we haven't seen that apart from, Resident Evil. That was an extra mode. Yes, it works with VR. I haven't tried it because I'm a bit of a bitch with that kind of shit. But I need to play that. Because that game would... Even the game on its flat screen scares the shit out of me. Can you imagine that in VR? I need balls of steel to do that. Big Cloud, thank you for the $2 super chat. My shout out to Bit. Let's just hope that the price is on point for PSVR 2. Yes, it is. We're espousing about the price. I think it will be okay. More than the price, though, I hope I'll pay $1,000 for this if the game, if it's a game changer. If it's a game changer, then the experience pays for itself, because I want that Ready Player One experience. I want that.
It's not going to be that.
Yeah, this ain't that yet. Let's not go that far. Yeah, you ain't putting on that suit yet. There ain't no haptic suit happening yet.
Oh, yeah, there is.
Asa knows. In order to get something of that nature, you're looking at $25,000 plus, right? You're looking at the treadmill thing.
You're probably looking at $100,000.
Bits and pieces, yeah. Bits and pieces.
The gloves, the helmet, because that helmet that we were looking at, how much did that thing was like $5,000 to $8,000, right? The one that wasn't at the show, the really good one that I'm looking for, and the name keeps eluding me at the moment. I don't want to say something. I think it begins with an A.
I don't know.
But okay, so I'll probably DM you with it later. But all right, so this headset, it has all these bells and whistles, every bell and whistle, and it was supposed to be at the show. But if you pair that with the haptic vest and the treadmill and the gloves, then you're talking about the territory that Gaz wants to be in, a whole VR world. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money, and I'm not paying $1,000 for a PlayStation VR. I don't care what it's coming with. Yeah, in totality, if I can get Spartacus, my PlayStation 5, the VR, yeah, I'll pay that $1,000 too, and that's a good space that it should be in for that premium experience, because like Fawn says, no matter what you say, it's still niche, it's still an accessory to it. This is how you make that accessory a necessity.
Yeah, and there's so many people getting into the VR game. You got the Panasonic making a headset now.
Yeah.
There's so many people doing it. The McGain X
invigorates it. Because
PlayStation can do it by themselves.
But PlayStation is going to be that catalyst, I think, because they are more mainstream than any other VR manufacturer out there in the gaming space. I really think that this is where the majority of the casuals will get introduced to
if
PS.
Wolverine has a VR component in it, and when Wolverine comes out, you can play it pancake style. And if you have the VR, you could throw it in, you could just actually have your claws.
Yeah,
and you could feel them with the haptic, each claw come out. Come on, man. Like, you'll go absolutely nuts to have something like that.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I hope for in the future, it's that kind of stuff.
Definitely. Blaze 4K, thank you for the $5 super chat. King, GT7 soon. Don't forget our bet. Great guest, Asen guest.
Yeah. Okay, so again, remember, if it's delayed even a day, you're done, son. And I want you on camera.
What's the bet that you made?
Well, he has to bend the knee. So he said the Gran Turismo was going to come out on the day that it said. I said it's not. I said it's actually going to get pushed back. I don't care if it gets pushed back a week. It gets pushed back one day. You're done. It misses its street date. You're done. And it's not going to come out. And I want you to use some logic here. I want you to just eat this logic pill that I'm giving you. Horizon is not missing their day. No. They're going to give Horizon space. Guess who's getting kicked in the stomach? Gran Turismo.
Is there a date?
It's a day.
Yeah, is it? Oh,
yeah, March.
March.
Yeah. Guess who comes out in February?
Happen in March.
Guess who comes out in February?
Horizon.
Guess who's getting kicked in the stomach a couple of weeks?
Yo, Blaze, come on, man. I already made a Source video about you where you said no God of War's not happening. How many Source videos are you going to feature it?
Well, he's in your next one. And he's going to be in his little Gran Turismo car with his hood up. He's going to be driving down the block to bring me his knees.
I love Blaze, man. He's good people.
I love him. That's my guy.
Yes, for sure. Risk it. Thank you so much. Oh, no, we covered that already about the backwards compat, but thank you for the super chat. Erodimus, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Speaking of BitCloud, he had an interview where 90% of the market is running in Windows and Microsoft is more invested in AR and mixed reality. Asa, is that still the case? Because it seems like they've kind of teetered off the mixed reality thing.
No. Microsoft still actively develop. When you say mixed reality for Microsoft, don't start thinking HoloLens necessary. The whole environment is made for HoloLens and for VR. That's what makes it mixed and not augmented reality, right? So, like I said, the 4K OLED headset that I use is Microsoft Windows mixed reality. They still advance it and they still work on particularly the Steam plugin, but it seems to be a very small team that is doing it. Is what I would say.
Okay. But they still have avenues to plug back in, so yeah. Shout out to 330 people watching, by the way. Smash that like button if you're enjoying the bants. BitCloud Gaming, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Wouldn't surprise me if PSVR 2 worked with PC. It wouldn't surprise any of us because PlayStation is now on PC anyway. But yeah, that'd be a smart play because there's great tech. Dominate the PC market as well. Why not? Yudani, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I look forward to watching the continuation console wars in the Zuckerverse. Imagine throwing hands in VR Walmart aisles and VR Applebee's. Bro, that's the next. That's where console wars. Forget Twitter Spaces. I don't know why PlayStation guys love that place. It's lazy. Let's go into the VR arena. Let's just throw some fists out there. Let's be honest, bro.
In VR, yeah, just duke it out.
Asa, remember we played Creed VR? It was so
much
funny.
fun.
Asa punched the wall as he was fighting me because I kept turning around. He's like, "Guys, don't do that." Oh, you just punched the wall. You run back and go forward like this. Was so much fun though.
You remember who won?
VR is. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, let's
But yeah,
not
so
talk
that's
about the
great.
winner. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not talk about the winner. That was, and VR, really, look, I get it. Look, in chat, people are quite torn. A lot of people are quite dismissive of it, and I understand that. I didn't miss your VR super chat, did I, Erodimus? But yeah, tell me if I did. But yeah, so I understand the skepticism. Me and Ace are very excited. Fonz, you are on the fence.
No, I'm not. Like I said, I'm not going to buy it because of my motion sickness. But dude, I'm all for pushing the tech forward. Why not? Like, you know, it's something that I feel has a place in gaming, and yeah, I'd love to see it flourish.
Yeah, no, definitely. I do too. I really believe in VR being the zen of gaming. I've said it for years. I think I wrote an article about it years ago. But I maintain that. I'm just got my pencil here ready. What was that VR game you talked about, King? That was really good on Oculus Quest?
Demo.
Demio, yeah.
How do you spell that?
Demio. Yeah.
Demio.
Okay, so the game is like a Dungeons and Dragons game, and it makes you feel like, you know, you're sitting in your basement at your friend's house. It looks like Stranger Things basement, which is really nice to me.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, and you're all around the tables for you guys, and you're all around the table, and you have your warriors there, and you actually pick your warrior up and you move him, and it has a level of immersion to it. With RPG type elements. I wish they would have went a little bit deeper with the RPG elements of the game, but they will do so probably in future iterations of it, as far as the warrior being a lot stronger than the archer and, you know, the assassin and stuff like that, to give them different attributes. But as far as that, aside from that, you have movement squares. Is a real-time strategy game. I mean, it's a turn-based strategy game where you have a certain amount of moves that you can move your character with, actions associated with said character, but it's card-based. So you pick a card from your wrist, you turn your wrist around, and you pick a card, and you use that card to cast a spell. And it is so visually stimulating and audioly stimulating, and the world immerses you, and you're with your friends. And if you're playing with 4 people, you know, 2 to 4 people or whatever, it bridges the gap. You understand? Like, it takes a different look at it. And you know, Ace is onto something when he says it's a whole different world. So imagine us playing it pancake style, and this is so funny right now. You've given me a whole new vernacular right now. I love you. But imagine playing it pancake style, and we've done this. We've done this with a lot of RTS games. Now you're in the world. You stretch the world around. You can get down to floor level. You can look at the characters' faces. You can look at the animation of it, and then you can zoom out and find where the monsters are on the board, and you can plan your strategy. I think the game, to me, is phenomenal in what it does and what it's trying to get across to the player, and the team base, the squad base. Is in how you clear a board, and the teamwork associated with that stuff. It's the best that we've played so far for me so far, and we just delved into into the VR world. And for me, for Quest, like I said, I'm a PlayStation 1 veteran and a Vive dude, but at the same time, this thing has captivated me, and I applaud anyone who got a chance to play it, because I know you had a great time, and I implore anyone who didn't get a chance to play it and add me, because I'll definitely play with you guys in playing this game, because it is one of my little guilty pleasures that I do like to play.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm going to get in on that as well. And from what Asa you played there, that looked like a lot of fun.
I haven't played it. Any friends?
we'll be your friends. I'll definitely downloading it. And King, you need to give me your Oculus name. We need to play some games.
King David, and I have Jamaican Jim Ryan face right there. It's so hilarious too.
Fonts. So quick on the bat. But yeah, so definitely check that out. So we're keeping a key eye on PSVR. Let's see. Hopefully we'll see some of it at E3. E3 we talked about, no physical E3 event. We've already touched upon it. I hope it changes. I was really looking forward to seeing all of you, especially the Iron Lords, man, in person. It sucks. Me and Colt were very distraught by the news that happened, because for the last year or more, just been just planning this holiday with meeting you guys. And
oh yeah, I was getting a Maserati.
Yeah, man. Don't even. We can do something. We'll think of something.
I love California for the simple fact that the police don't bother you when you're on your highway. I'm doing 200 miles an hour in a Corvette Stingray. Me and Monkey flying up and down the highways. It was incredible fun.
I don't know if I can do that as a brown person in America, but maybe. Well, you police are.
I'm brown as hell.
Yeah. Actually, if you can get away with that, maybe I can.
I'm Cookie Crisp. And I had the top down, so they knew exactly who I was.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, I hope we can bring that back, because it's really is a shame, and I'm so annoying. The digital events are, I don't know. It's
they
not
suck.
the same. It suck. Yeah.
I can do that in my house any day.
This week we also heard that Playground Games co-founder Gavin Rayburn stepped down, which a lot of people doom and gloom, but people can step down. He was the co-founder. He's allowed to step down. I don't think there's much news there, but I just want to touch on it because Jez broke the news on it. It's breaking news. Who cares? Like, it's not a big deal. Relax. He's got the money. He's gonna have his payday. Playground have proven they are more than up to the task, so there's that. Naughty Dog are working on multiple games, Fonz. They are talking about working on loads of games, and I'm wondering,
VR game?
Last of Us 2. No, not well. It could be VR game.
Who knows? They could be working on some little small project as well as their remakes and remasters and remakes of remasters and remasters of remakes. You know. Yeah, who knows what's going on over there? But, look, we do know that Neil had finished writing The Last of Us 3, which I really don't care about at this point. After 2, I'm done with that series. But, they could be working on something there as well. Who knows? That I know he didn't say they greenlit the game or anything, but he did write the game. So that is in place. The wheels are in motion there, so that could be one of those games. And that would be huge for them because Last of Us is a huge franchise. But outside of that, man, I feel like they need to bring in a new IP. I think I need something fresh from Naughty Dog. I think they're one of the best studios out there. Yeah. They need to really, I mean, in terms of animations and graphics, I mean, Naughty Dog is up there, them and Rockstar tops for me. So I'd really like to see what they do, but with a new IP. So I just don't know anything else about this. I haven't heard anything.
They apparently have a lot. They can't wait to show what they have. I haven't. We as much as we shit on 343 for not having co-op and stuff. Where's the multiplayer for The Last of Us 2? That's been
that's
MIA
right. Factions.
Ages.
Yeah, Factions was supposed to be out. That was supposed to be out, 4 years ago? 3 years ago? I don't really know.
You're going to get it when they give you the remix, and you're going to get that remix $75.50.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Go on, man. PlayStation boys, you guys are not making that much noise about this thing. The multiplayer is amazing, but what happened? You guys are really radio silent on that. Why are they getting so much freedom? So see the Xbox guys, we don't tolerate stuff. We call it out. Do the same, PlayStation guys. I say we.
They're not going to call it out. They're going to sit there and take it because they got no choice. Because if they say anything bad about Sony, we already know what Sony does to them. They blackball them. So you always got to come to Sony's house with roses. The day you don't show up with roses, you're blackballed. You can't come in. All right? So your black card is gone. You no longer work here. Get out of here. Your ID doesn't work at the gate. You're done for. So if you're not kissing the feet of the king, you're done.
And who knows, Gaz? They could. Naughty Dog could also be working on a new Uncharted. Who knows?
Probably.
You never know.
Man.
To coincide with the movie. Yeah.
Maybe it's a remake of or a
Tom
remaster.
Holland's face?
Who knows? Yeah. Maybe they'll superimpose Tom Holland's face on there, which is not the face of Nathan
what
Drake.
they did with Spider-Man. Hey, this ain't the first time they did it, right?
But I would love
exactly.
honestly, I would love a new Uncharted. I would love that. I think that franchise is fantastic.
Yeah. No,
So I don't know, man.
Well, and the big news this week.
Big news.
The big news, and you made a video about this. Ubisoft Plus comes to Xbox.
Can I get my chance to gloat?
Yes, do
Go
so.
for it.
Thank you. Okay, so listen here, you mustard heads.
Mustard heads.
I told you, mustard heads. I told you, mustard heads, early on in the year. Said, King, what's the next move that Microsoft is gonna make? I said Ubisoft and Game Pass, Ubisoft Plus. What? Oh, that's not gonna happen, King. You crazy. Okay, so there's no surprise that this information came out this week. Excuse me. The talk started happening. Microsoft first quarter talks. They sit down and come back. Everybody come back off vacation. Excuse me. Let's get this stuff going.
Yeah.
What's next on the agenda? Well, we had a break in information right now, so they already knew CES was coming. Excuse me. PlayStation's trying to sabotage me. They said, "Shut him up now! Shut him up now! Throw a bug in his mouth!" Oh. Listen, I told you guys that the Ubisoft stuff was coming. I think they was working on how to equate the dollars and cents of stuff and what they was going to put in Game Pass and what they weren't. This is the pretty girl. You have to woo the pretty girl the same way they had to woo EA. EA definitely had EA access on the Microsoft platforms before they went to the PlayStation platform. Now, what you don't want to do in business is you don't want to lock yourself into a deal without getting the most out of what you have to offer. So, EA had to make sure that he spread himself around before he got himself locked down inside Game Pass. So what did EA do? EA Access was inside Xbox, and then they went to PlayStation, and they were on PlayStation. And then they came back to Microsoft and got the bag and put it inside Game Pass, right? So I think this is the same thing that's going to happen. Right now, first, some of the games they're going to put day and date inside Game Pass, and then they're going to have Ubisoft Plus inside the Microsoft platforms, and that'll probably be for 6 to 8 months, if not a year. After that deal is up, that is going to actually find its way over to PlayStation, and the day it finds itself over to PlayStation, it's going to find itself over inside Game Pass. Why? Because that's how you maximize your dollars, and that's exactly what good corporations and businesses do. You make sure you get the most out of the sucker that's looking after you, that wants you there, and guess who's a sucker? Microsoft is a sucker, right? So Microsoft is going to give them the money to make sure certain games get inside Game Pass, to make you see the value inside Game Pass, with also Ubisoft peddling their wares there. So you'll be able to purchase UB Play on a Microsoft platform for an extended period of time, which won't be on a PlayStation platform at that time. When it is available over there, Microsoft has to show you where the value is. Oh, and guess what? We put Uplay inside Game Pass, and you like, oh wow, this is crazy. Yeah, after they milked you for a whole year of Uplay. So listen,
I agree and disagree with you. I've got a couple of points here. I agree with you that there will be deals struck with Ubisoft and Microsoft in terms of games going into Game Pass. That we know. They're establishing a relationship here where that is going to be cultivated. Of course, they're going to add more games into Game Pass eventually. Where I don't agree with you is that Ubisoft Plus will be put into Game Pass. Reason being is the price. Price point is huge. And the fact is, the EA access would cost you about $2.40 a month.
Yep.
Before that was implemented into Game Pass. That wasn't much for EA. EA's not putting day and date games in there. They're just like, whatever. They struck a deal there. But for Ubisoft Plus, that's $15 a month. $15 a month of continuous revenue stream. I don't see a company saying, you know what, go ahead and put it in Game Pass. they're not going to lose out on those potential subscriptions. That $15 a month. That people are going to pay for that $15 a month. I already know people on Xbox that said, yeah, I'm doing it. So they're not going to get rid of that just so Xbox can put it into Game Pass. Because if that were to happen, I think that would inflate the price of Game Pass like you wouldn't want. Personally, that's how I feel.
Do you think that's viable, Asa? Because the price point thing, I can see Ubisoft Plus joining Game Pass, but the cost of it is how Fonz explains
The cost.
it. Yeah, that's like...
I'll explain the cost after.
I've been like saying this for almost 2 years, I think, that Ubisoft Plus, you have to look at EA as well for comparison as a parallel, because there's a very direct parallel there. On the PC space with EA Play, you've got the GP service, which is what you can get for $30 a year or £20 a year, which, like Fon said, that's the one that's in Game Pass, and that's the one that you can subscribe to individually on PlayStation, and that's the one that you can subscribe to on PC. And then they've got EA Play Pro, which is their day and date service, which is more comparable to Ubisoft, whatever they're calling it, Ubisoft Plus, Ubisoft, I don't know. I subscribe to this thing. I don't know what it's called. I've not played any games on it, but I'm a mug, right? Plus. Ubisoft Plus tells you that Ubisoft value that service, and it's a service where they put all of their games, all of their DLC, day and date, at a price that is more than the base level Game Pass. It's not going into Game Pass. It's not going into Game Pass Ultimate in that format. It's just not.
Yep.
Because they value it too high. So Ubisoft they could do like EA, a lower tier of it, and they could package that within Game Pass Ultimate. But then really you're just talking about optics at that point, because that's not so different to Ubisoft just making bespoke deals for their games and putting them in Game Pass. That is definitely going to happen. Rainbow Six Extraction is not the only Ubisoft game that's going to end up in Game Pass.
Facts.
Whether you put a service with the name Ubisoft Plus and call it part of Game Pass or not, really it's optics for both companies. So you take Mass Effect. What happened with Mass Effect Legendary Edition this week?
Yeah,
Tell the truth, shame the devil.
You and I see eye to eye on this, Asa. You and I, Asa, see we see eye to eye here.
Tell me that.
It's exactly the thing, because, so many comments I got from people on my video was, they did it to Game Pass. I mean, the EA Access, they put it in Game Pass. EA Access is $2.40 a month. That's a huge difference from $15 a month. That's not even close. And not just that, I'm looking at the fact that Ubisoft look, they're going to make deals with Microsoft to put some of their games in Game Pass here and there. That's going to happen. So what more do you really want here? Like, money. I feel like people out there, gamers, are so, like, especially Game Pass gamers. I love Game Pass. There's nothing in me that speaks bad about Game Pass. I love it. But I don't expect everything to come to Game Pass. That's not my mentality. I'm not like one of those guys like King here. Sorry, King, got to put you out there. I'm going to wait for that game till it hits Game Pass. I can't be that guy. Like, I would love it to hit Game Pass, but I'm all about that FOMO at times.
It works out.
I need that.
Did you see?
I need to play the game.
The Mass Effect's Legendary Edition. I ain't spent $1, Chuck.
Yeah, see, I did.
But
I spent the buck. I bought it.
Let me follow that up though, because the story that I saw going around everywhere is that Mass Effect Legendary Edition came to Game Pass, right? That's what everybody has said about it. That's the story that broke. I had Tony, I'm not sure if he's here today, but he's been asking me for the last 2 or 3 months, like, should I buy Mass Effect? And I said, no, it's going to be in Game Pass. It's on sale now. Should I buy it? No, it's going to be in Game Pass. But it's not just on Game Pass. You can go onto your PlayStation right now with your £20 EA Play subscription, and you can download Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and nobody talks about it. And that's where optics come in. This is what I'm saying. Like, when you talk about optics, in Ubisoft's case, what is the advantage of having a version of Ubisoft, whatever they want to call it, in Game Pass, as opposed to just putting some games in there? Look at what's happening with EA Play. There are advantages to them. From Microsoft's perspective, it's complicated because everyone's wondering whether they're going to do tiers, whether they're going to do channels, what they're going to do with the service going forwards. But it is just how those companies want to position these services. It's not even a question. Yes, Ubisoft games are going to go onto Game Pass. They are, absolutely. Does it need to be all of them? Do Ubisoft need to commit to all of them? Do they want to be in that situation with Mass Effect Legendary Edition where I'm telling people you shouldn't buy that? It's definitely coming to Game Pass. That's not a great place to be either, right? Like, EA would have sold Mass Effect Legendary Edition to those people if it wasn't such a done deal. So it's swings and roundabouts, and it's quite
still buy it, because it's going to get out of Game Pass. All right, so here goes the business time, guys. All right, so Ace is right. Fonz is right. Both guys is right. Right?
Yeah.
Fonz brought it, right? Fonz didn't care. FOMO.
Yeah.
I'm the guy that sat on the side that said, hell no, I know what's coming.
You're waiting. Yeah.
I got too much backlog. I don't care. But when I woke up, I said, guess who's here? My man, I knew you were coming.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so let's go back to the Ubisoft stuff. Everybody's sitting there saying, yo, where's Assassin's Creed coming, King? You said Assassin's Creed is coming. They showed it at the third-party event, right? It was the pre-mail joint. All the stuff that was inside that third-party event is coming to Game Pass. Sit back and wait. These deals is working itself out. Now, Ace is right. It's available on PlayStation, but it's not as sexy as Game Pass. So why talk about it, right? It's not sexy. We only gonna talk about what's sexy. Game Pass is sexy, right? So Game Pass has that pizzazz. Game Pass is known as the best deal in gaming right now. I don't care what's going on PlayStation. It's in a forest by itself in the corner, and the tree fell down, but nobody heard it. Right? Microsoft is in Front Street. They Broadway. This is Broadway, baby. The chains is all, everything's shining, the glistening, everything is nice. This is what happens. So they don't care if Floyd showed up over at the PlayStation event in the bushes in the corner. They happy that Floyd showed up to Broadway. All right, so Broadway is where it's happened. And this is why they're going to do a stripped down version of Uplay. They're going to give you a lower tier. They're not going to do day and date. They're going to take the EA model. It's the money.
Yeah,
it's the
they have to
bag.
do that. Yeah, that's what has to be done. It has to be a lower tier.
Yeah, it slides inside Game Pass. Game Pass doesn't go up a price, but the optics. See, this is where Ace is right. The optics of it.
Yeah.
Uplay is in Game Pass. Yo, how many of y'all people actually knew EA Access had a pro?
I did, but we look into that sort of stuff. We're always like
little
for the
few
hardcore,
do, right? You know what I know is what Game Pass has? EA Access.
Yeah.
And that's what matters.
You're right. A lot of people didn't know that coming to my comment section. I had to break it down for them, and they were like, "Oh, I didn't know that."
So
it was
now,
the same.
so when when Uplay gets there, they're gonna see the benefit of all those older games getting played. And then what do they specialize in? Loot crates. What do they specialize in?
Microtransactions.
Microtransaction. Game Pass is a haven for games that have microtransaction. Uplay level of money is going to raise through the roof with 30 million people, 35 million people inside Game Pass looking at your game.
Brother, I said the same thing to somebody the other day, and that's why they got Extraction into Game Pass day one, because they are going to capitalize on all those microtransactions within Game Pass, because people are going to play it there. It's free. Hey, I get to play it. I'm only paying this subscription. I get to play Extraction now. And guess what? Oh, since I am just playing it for free, I might as well buy some of these cosmetics. That's what they're banking on.
Yeah.
That's what they're banking on.
Game Pass because of that.
Yeah,
that's why,
of course.
That's why I'm a swami, and it's gonna happen. I'm 96% right.
Pitch, King.
I'm 96% right all the time. Ace is 97%.
No. I've dropped down to like a way lower one since I went on Fonz's show, and he asked me a lot of questions about Splinter Cell. So now I've plummeted.
What?
Yeah.
Oh no,
he doesn't play Splinter Cell, so
Atrocious.
Yeah, so no, I'm 96% right. Listen. Don't worry about it. It'll happen. And if you want to take buying tips from me, don't buy anything unless it's in Game Pass.
Nelson says, King is the prophet we don't deserve. But yeah, listen to him.
You got it.
Johnny, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. He goes, issue with that thinking is it assumes there will be a lot of subs to U+. If U+ is 1 million subs today, it won't grow that much at $15. If Xbox pays $3 per sub and has 25 million Game Pass Ultimate subs, That's a big check, almost $1 billion. Hagi Chani saying, I think a big chunk of those subs going to.
Yeah, but that's still a lot of money to incorporate that, and it's still. I still maintain that they're going to get more than 1 million subs to Ubisoft Plus for sure. I think they're going to get a lot of subs there because I see a lot of people talking about it on Twitter that they're going to sign up. Yeah, because there's a lot of people out there. There was somebody in the chat that says, "Oh, now you guys like Ubisoft." You know what? We all play Ubisoft games here. I mean,
that's all they play. I don't like Ubisoft. These guys play Ubisoft.
But you play what? You played Far Cry 6, right?
I mean, I
yeah. You play Far Cry.
Like Far Cry. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, if you play a couple of games a year from Ubisoft and you buy the DLCs for those 2 games, you've paid for the Ubisoft Plus. I mean, it's not a big deal. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Makes sense.
I mess with Ubisoft games. I don't mess with Ubisoft practices.
Facts.
Just very simple. I can separate myself from those situations because I'm not of the game. I like the games, so I'm not of whatever the company dictates and what they're about. Because at any given time, if Microsoft sees fit, if you really think about it, if they really want to play hardball with the king, what happens? He just goes in and buys them. Move out the way. We want you. We're going to put you. We got you. And we don't care about whatever your subscription thing is. Actually, y'all in disarray anyway. I think the FCC need to check you out over here. And hold on, I'm going to slide you a bag that way. And this way you can get over to the side and we can put you inside Game Pass where everything is popping. It's snappy over here. We like that.
People don't realize how much
Microsoft money, that's what they would be doing.
People don't realize how many casuals out there enjoy subscription services. I mean, even for myself, when it comes to like Netflix, Hulu, that sort of stuff, I have all of them, King. And you know what I watch on them? Maybe 1 or 2 shows here and there, but I still pay for them. And that's what they bank on. And they know people will do this. In the gaming space, it's no different. Casuals will sign up for this kind of stuff because they know, hey, I have a choice of all of these games. Even if I don't play all of them, I can if I want to. And that is the bottom line.
That's
100%. 100%. The industry is moving there. It wouldn't surprise me, but like Asa said, like it's all about optics. It's how you incorporate that. The inevitable thing is Ubisoft, their games will come to Game Pass. I'm surprised about Asa is that you were sure that Mass Effect collection was coming to Game Pass. Why? I don't know. I didn't think that, but
because EA Play is part of Game Pass, and every EA game will come to EA Play. Like they're committed to that. There was never a doubt over it.
Okay. I was just wondering why. Well, it'd be interesting.
Battlefield 2042. Let's go.
No, but I think again, if you're PlayStation, you're a little bit worried there, no? Because you're like, these are kind of maneuvers we can't make that Xbox are making, and that makes us nervous. If I'm PlayStation, I'd be a little bit worried.
Nervous
there.
for what? They're the market leader, right? Right? Aren't they the market
That's an old
leader?
narrative. I don't know. Well,
I'm being facetious here.
but it's
when you say that there's moves that PlayStation can't make, most of these companies that we're talking about that do deals with Xbox for Game Pass are open to doing deals with anyone. Right? It's not that Sony can't step in. I mean, like Dirt 5 came to PlayStation Plus this month, and Deep Rock Galactic. Both of those games are already on Xbox Game Pass. You can get Dirt 5 on Stadia Pro. So you get publishers that are willing to do these deals and publishers that aren't. And there is nobody that Sony can't talk to that Microsoft are already talking to. It's not a case of being priced out of it. Microsoft can obviously throw money around. They can bring...
But money talks, bro. Money talks.
Yeah, you get examples like Rainbow Six Extraction.
When Xbox... Yeah,
Microsoft get these earlier, right? They can pay more, but they can talk to the same people. So.
Okay, so like he said, he keeps saying Rainbow Six Extraction. It will thrive better where Rainbow Six Siege actually thrived. Remember, it was DOA. It was a dead situation. You don't remember that? And I think Game Pass gave it new life. Me and my son was playing it 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, wow, this game changed so much. I'm like, they got season passes and stuff like this in this game. They didn't have none of that in the beginning. And Game Pass gave it multiplayer games hero shooters. These games, they give you a whole different type of new life. And everybody keeps not looking at that tournaments thing with the PlayStation. If they really keen in on that stuff, and you can actually play tournaments inside your house, Rainbow Six tournaments, they can make a bed for multiplayer. Microsoft already has that bed. So when you say Rainbow Six Siege Extraction day and date inside Game Pass, it will resonate more than you saying it on the PlayStation platform, because they haven't cultivated a multiplayer situation there yet. They're working on it, and I think they have their head in the right angle. And I think it's going to take off. They can actually get my money for a subscription service over there. But Microsoft is more ready for that to happen now. And I think PlayStation is better suited for the deals that they're making with Square Enix with the single player story games on their platform, because this is what they're known for. Microsoft isn't known for those type of games, so I don't think those games sell well on a Microsoft platform, and it has to change. And I think they're both taking strides to do so.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting space to watch. At its infancy, it's going to be such a competitive arena.
And also, one thing, sorry to cut you off, but one thing that I don't want to escape my mind yet is that there's the microtransactions within these Ubisoft games, or any games within Game Pass. I'm not sure, but I know every deal is different for every game with Game Pass. Now, these microtransactions, does Xbox get a cut of those?
I don't know.
See, that's something that I have no idea, because they do see all the transactions going through Microsoft, with these microtransactions.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah. So that's another thing that you have to take into account, because Hargeet, me and him are having a back and forth here. That's another thing that, they probably don't want to give up.
If a nickel bag is sold in the park, I want in.
There you go.
Thing in New York.
This is like this is the crux of the Epic versus Apple and Google legal battle. Yes, they take their cut.
Yeah.
Anything that comes through my store, I get a piece of that. What is that? A French fry? Give me some of that. Thank you. Go ahead. Let it go.
You should have recorded that, VODs, and in your.
I can go back and do that. Yeah.
Definitely. JC Carlamaro, sorry if I mispronounced that. Thank you for the $2 super chat. I was actually going to the next topic. What about Final Fantasy being PlayStation exclusive only? So this is coming back off a story. I think it was VGC's Jordan Midler who was commenting about the publisher's future games, and he said most of Square's stuff will end up on Xbox, but I wouldn't hold out hope for Final Fantasy unless something changes. Sony wants PlayStation to be the home of Final Fantasy this generation. Final Fantasy VII was supposed to be on Xbox by now.
Where is it? Yeah.
Where is it? Yeah,
exactly. They wouldn't extended the deal.
Yep.
Apparently,
so what happened?
Square Enix's and Sony's camp beyond what's publicly known, with multiple timed exclusives in the works. The first announcements will be coming very soon, apparently. And he said, it is interesting to see Ubisoft side with Xbox more and more this gen, while Square is firmly in Sony's camp, even beyond what's publicly known. This is a cool move, but I wonder what price we'll be looking at for Ultimate plus Ubisoft. This is turning into a very exciting generation.
It is.
Go, King.
Okay, we watching East versus West all over again. East Coast versus West Coast all over again. We're watching the East versus the West. Microsoft has the Western market, period. Right? Western RPGs, period. How hungry do you guys got to be? First of all, and I want y'all to have that same energy. Don't be a fraud. Have that same energy that you had with Bethesda. When you heard that news, that you was sitting there, you was laughing in your PlayStation dude's face. You was like, you won't play that. You got my Xbox, baby. StarCraft, baby. Remember that? Okay. Final Fantasy, baby. It's just this simple war. All right.
I love it.
And culturally, what I don't like is it looks like the optics of it looks like the West is siding with the West. and the East is siding with the East.
But we know that's not true.
But we don't know that because this is what it's smelling like. Because if Ubisoft is definitely playing ball with Microsoft very heavy, and then Square Enix is definitely playing ball with Sony, it smells like
but let me clarify.
Yeah,
but let me clarify. I feel that Phil Spencer, we've seen what he's been trying to do. He's took many trips, to Japan and everything, trying to get more and more games over here. And he has brought more JRPGs and stuff to the box, including inside of Game Pass. It's happened. So that's a really good thing. However, you're right about like Square just kind of taking a side. That kind of stuff is not cool, but at the same time, it's about that money. We know it's about that money at the end of the day.
Well, okay, so
it is, man.
Question. You don't think Microsoft went over there to Square and said, yo, man, I got that. They got bread. So if it's about bread, it ain't about that. It's about, I'm loyal to my man's dough. I don't care what
I think there's a bit of that. I think there's a bit of that.
Definitely a bit of that.
Yeah.
Right?
I think there's a bit of that.
There has to be. You build relationships.
Thank you. This is what I'm talking about. That West versus East thing that I'm seeing. And okay, so you got the big hitters in the West, right?
Yeah.
Ubisoft's like, EA's like, we're gonna roll with Microsoft do this party. And then you got Kojima and these dudes over there, with the East, we got Sony back. Well, what y'all talking about over there? We've been looking for Final Fantasy to show up. Yeah, Final Fantasy is gonna be late to the party, partner.
Real late.
You can wait all you like. If you want to play that, you gotta pony up 70 bones. And then you're sitting there with that face like, do I gotta really do this? I have a PlayStation. I don't really care.
But here's a big, a big fact as well, because South Star in the chat hit it on the head. He said, it's not just that Xbox gamers simply don't buy those games. And there is some truth to that. Like a lot of these games do not sell that as well as they do on the PlayStation side.
100%.
And also that, of course, is a regional thing as well.
Yeah.
Because I think more UK gamers buy those types of games than US players. However, I do like to play, Final Fantasy games here and there. Final Fantasy VII, the remake was great. Played that on PlayStation. But yeah, I've got so many people asking me, where is it? Where is it on the Xbox?
I'm waiting for Game Pass.
It's just, and you know what? It might go into Game Pass. You know what? That might happen. Who knows? By the time it gets over here to Xbox, it might be so old that, throw it in Game Pass. Yeah, it don't matter. But I'm just saying, like, it's crazy how, like, we're looking at this situation where we've got, you said the East versus West, because it kind of does seem like that. It does. Because Xbox right now has so many Western RPGs. Now that they got Bethesda, Arcane, Obsidian, they've got the Western RPGs on lock right now. Yep. It's insane how much.
Cyber asked a good question.
Yeah.
I wonder how Scarlet Nexus did on the Game Pass. I imagine not
I played it.
Well, I've downloaded it. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah, it was in Game Pass.
Because it's Game Pass. Yeah, I only downloaded it because it was in Game Pass. It looked really good though, but
Square Enix though, they're doing some deals with Sony on these IPs that traditionally do a lot better on PlayStation. Square Enix are a bit of a disaster publisher at the moment, so if you're an Xbox fan right now, I wouldn't panic too much because Final Fantasy 16 is probably going to be about as good as Final Fantasy 15. Like, sorry, but good music, but you're not missing out on too much. But Square Enix are willing to talk to Microsoft just as much. Arguably, the very best part of Square Enix right now is Crystal Dynamics. They've given a studio to Microsoft for the time being.
Yeah, so that's true.
It's not simple.
They dropped the ball.
You know what we're seeing right now? We're seeing a ton of competition going on, and I love it. And that's why I tell people all the time, I feel that this generation is going to be the best gaming generation we've had in so long. So long. I can't remember a generation I was this excited for. And it's because of that competition.
Even if it's East versus West.
Even if it's a beatdown. Even if it's a...
Me loves that. I'm like, go for it.
And even if it's a beatdown like King says... even so, we're still seeing competition on both sides like we've never seen before.
It's amazing.
I think, go ahead.
Sony is doing things right now out of their comfort zone because they have to compete. They're being forced to do certain things that they may not want to do, King. And this is amazing to me. It's for the consumer, this is a good thing. We should want this type of stuff to go down. I don't care about your comfort level on either side.
Yep.
I want you to bring me the best product you can bring me. That's all I care about. And that's what I see happening right now for both companies. That's why I say whether you got a PlayStation or an Xbox, you're going to have a good time this generation. But the best place to be is to be that gamer
PC.
that has both. That has both the PlayStation and Xbox. PC can go to hell. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I just think that, now is the time to be a multi-console owner. Period. This is the best time
but
to be a
Fonz,
gamer.
you're talking to people that are fiscally frugal when it comes to this situation.
Yet they're excited to spend $900 on VR. No, I'm not hearing that.
That's not them dudes. I'm talking about the fiscally frugal dudes, the TCL dudes. I'm talking about these individuals that wait for the sale. The Black Friday guy. The guy that the console came out and he's 2 years late to the party.
The guys that are digging in the DVDs there in the bin in Walmart, right?
Exactly.
Those guys.
That dude.
Okay.
The dude that picks the TV up from the floor next to the popcorn. That guy.
So there's like 50 copies of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles in the DVD rack, right? And they're just thumbing through it. Yeah, those guys.
So
yeah.
The dude that said,
you
know what? I got one console to buy, and I'm buying one console. That guy.
Yeah.
That guy, the one who squeezes his wallet till his wallet pop tears. That dude. All right. So this is the guy that chokes the penny out. This is the guy that I'm talking to. You're gonna have to. It's a hard fight tonight, right? So they're looking to see where they're gonna put their betting dollars right now. So he's like, I'm hearing this Game Pass is the best thing in the business, but they ain't got no Square. So the East versus West situation is really bugging them out because they're sitting there like, what? Ubisoft is messing with them. I don't know where to bet. I don't know where to put my hands at. And for you to say to these dudes, well, you got to get both. What, are you crazy? Like, I'm going to go buy a Quest 2.
Asa hit it on the head, though, with Square. Right now, they've been up and down with their games. Sometimes they put out some great products, and then, like, the very next game was a flop, and then, we had the Avengers, then Guardians. Guardians was so much better than the Avengers, in my opinion. And then, now you've got stuff going.
Outriders.
Outriders. You got stuff going on now with, people are speculating, they're speculating that Final Fantasy 16 isn't going to be all that great. But we'll see. We'll have to see. These games aren't out yet. But yeah, Square has been up and down.
Well, there's this Jordan Midler guy at VGC. He does say the Square scheme to keep putting everything on PC, even if the ports aren't great, timed exclusive.
Microsoft there, right there, baby.
Forspoken. Yeah, Forspoken. Like that game, look, there's parts of it I like. I liked what I saw early on, but I'm still seeing the same stuff I saw early on now. And I'm waiting for that game to look like it's opening up to be a fantastic game, and I'm not seeing it yet. However, interesting thing about Forspoken is they're trying to sell it for $70 on the PC space, and I don't know how well that's going to go.
That's not going to go any kind of way. It's going to get pirated to shit. No one is paying $70 in the PC space for that. Come on, apart from very few people.
Oh, we don't talk about pirated stuff here. We only talk about true copies.
That voice, man, that voice kills me.
They do that very well. And in no way, shape, or form a PC. No, that's just not going to work. Good luck, though, trying that. And
listen, I think the PlayStation is actually going to rule the PC market.
Someone said that the PC... Asa, is this... I don't know who said this, but I was on Twitter. Apparently, the PlayStation has better ports than Xbox does in games. Do you think that's...
I've heard that.
PlayStation embrace NVIDIA more so than Microsoft do. So I said in the Forza Horizon 5 tech analysis that Microsoft's full intent, full ambition for PC games is to have a really good console port. It's a really good console port, but they never push above that. Whereas Sony are willing to embrace things like DLSS and stuff like that Microsoft for some reason won't touch. So I can see the argument that Sony are doing more.
Amazing.
And God of War is £40. So not even Sony are doing the Square Enix. Right? They're not charging PC players 70 quid. Step down, Square Enix. Don't be silly.
Yeah, it's stupid. Like, even I can
charge them $70. Do it.
Just do it. The demise of Square.
Do it. They got a $5,000 PC, right? Do it. Hit them in the head. Go get them.
I don't think there are games on the console side from Square I'd even want to spend $70 on, to be honest. And
If it's on Game Pass, though, I'll play it. Hey, Square, do it.
Yep.
Keep doing it. Keep
Game
doing
Pass.
it. And don't let those numbers sell. And bring it over to Game Pass, and I'll play.
Facts.
Go do it.
Bring it to Game Pass.
Yeah. Dead Planet, thank you for a $2 super chat. It goes, God of War 5 was a 2019 game, 3-year gap. Why no Gears 6 in 2022? Gears is overrated, that's why.
Hey, what the hell?
The coalition is
sorry.
actually the coalition is working on a new IP. Gear 6 is
Yeah.
on the back burner.
Yeah.
So
Why are you worrying about Gears? Didn't you just play Gears Tactic? Go play.
yeah,
Go
Gears
finish
5,
Tactic.
Gears Hive Busters, Gears Tactics. There's so much to play out there in the world of
acting up.
Gears.
That's kind of disrespectful. That super chat there. Don't do that. Don't go there. Don't be. Find out where God of War, because it ain't coming out this year. So find out where God of War is at before you ask where God of War is. Don't worry about Gears.
And if you want to know, God of War, and no hate on God of War at all, because I love that game. And I'm going to love this one too. But God of War, that having that 3-year span, they're using a lot of the same assets.
See, we already know that.
We already see it.
Yeah.
We already saw it. And so it's going to be a great game. It's
Put a
gonna be
different
great
ogre
game.
in there with a different color. How about purple?
I think they had one. I think they had one in the first.
He said that guy's so disrespectful. I don't even like him. Get him off the show.
Give me a mustard head troll.
Mustard head.
Mustard head troll.
I think this is directed at you, King, as y'all need to be careful what you wish for. You don't want Sony doing what Microsoft is doing.
They can't.
No, I do want them to do that. I actually
because it
do.
would
As a
be a
consumer,
wrap,
as a
he
gamer,
says. It's
I
a wrap.
want it to happen. And it's not a wrap. It's just more options. More option for me to buy into Spartacus, get the day and date games where I don't have to pay $70 every freaking game. That's amazing to me. Like, do it.
He's
I dare you,
asking
Sony. Do it.
$1 billion company to act like $1 trillion company. Listen here. When I go inside a Cadillac, I'm not going over looking at Chevys. All right. Think about it that way. All right. So we both shopping in the same store, but I'm shopping in a different part of the store. That's what happens with Microsoft and Sony. Stop trying to think that they shop over there in the Cadillac section and they shopping over in the Chevy section. Don't think that they actually moving how Microsoft is moving. It's $1 trillion company versus $1 billion. There's a lot of zeros in between there. Don't think they can do what Microsoft does. Now, who can emulate who faster? Can Sony emulate Microsoft faster than Microsoft emulating Sony? Watch this generation with their studios. Now you're looking at 30 plus studios on the Microsoft side, and you're looking at 17 studios on the PlayStation side. You've heard the names of the games that Microsoft is bringing forth. You haven't heard anything other than God of War, Spider-Man, and Wolverine. Please sit down. Because right now, they are the ones you don't want Microsoft acting like Sony. Because the moment they make first-party over-the-shoulder games that mimic your game, you're done. So sit back, buy the VR, wrap it around your head, and love the haptic feedback as you beat yourself in the head saying, man, Microsoft is killing the game now. See, don't do that. See, I'm here.
Yeah. It's true.
Yeah.
Come on. You know, he's right. Microsoft
We need
can
some
make the
sad dad
adjustments like
simulators over here. We need that. We need that. I've been asking for it. We need that.
Well,
I love
Somebody clip that and put that up.
Kings with the facts. Chat you always love to get the chat riled up.
Of course.
That's why we love you. PlayStation confirms it's working on the Twisted Metal games. Finally. They didn't add much additional info, but it suggests that they're in the early phases of production. But Twisted Metal is alive, thank God. But without David Jaffe, is it Twisted Metal? I don't know.
Or is it another
God of War?
Destruction All Stars?
Please don't do that.
It's the bastardized version if David Jaffe is not included.
Yeah, if he's not involved, I'm not interested, really.
And it might be because of the documentary.
God of War did really well without David Jaffe.
Oh, please, no, it didn't. I mean, that game is not God of War. All right, it was a game that they were putting together, and they threw the skin on it and gave it a lore to it. They walked past it because, I mean, the original God of War games. Those are those. I'm sorry. I know it's different. I'm a purist when it comes to that, right? Yeah. So when I see this thing and it don't even got a jump button, throw it away. It's nice. It's a great game, even if it wasn't a God of War game, right? Let's just say if you change the names, you put something else on it, it was still a good game. right? It was a really good game. It was a good game told by them. I think they capitalized on something new. They went in a different direction. We already know that David Jaffe's a little, extra at some point in time. So they probably said, let's do a little something different here. I respect all of his previous work because I loved it so much. So when they went in that second direction, that different direction, it really threw me for a loop. All right. And my game of the year is Spider-Man. It will always be. And it came out in the same year. And I do truly, honestly believe Spider-Man beat it out in what it gave to for what it was. I thought that one came up a little bit short.
Okay, now
God of War.
Now that King slandered God of War, I'm just going to say this. King, you're right. They're very different games from the original God of Wars. This new God of War is very different, but it's better. Okay, in my opinion, I like it better. I wish, and I'll go one further on you, King. I wish. You remember the game Heavenly Sword that was like God of War?
Oh, yes.
I wish Ninja Theory would bring that back and do something similar to what they did with God of War.
I said that for years, but don't Sony owns that IP?
Yeah, they own the IP, I believe, and that's what's sad because Heavenly Sword to me was a great game back in the day. So
yeah, I thought it was the game that actually pushed the PlayStation 3 with the motion controller. Remember that?
Yeah.
So it was the reason why I shot an arrow and I was in my living room guiding it to the guy's head. It still holds up to this day. The game looks fantastic to me. And it was calling it the female God of War.
It's just so good. I love this game.
Yeah.
The netcode was shit, but it's such a good game. I think it'll be fine. I think so. Someone in chat mentioned Jaffe was pissed that he wasn't even consulted when this game got the green lit.
I would be too.
I think that's disrespect.
I would be too. He's the father of it. I mean, he made something from nothing and turned it into an icon.
Yeah.
And then somebody else came and piggybacked off of his absolute hard, incredible work. I mean, those in the Vita versions, come on, man. This guy actually breathed life into a space that wasn't there. And
I love Jaffe, man.
I swear I can't wait to be on the show with him. I swear I can't wait. I love that guy.
You guys don't have allow swearing, but perhaps do an.
No, I got to do. I got to do ILP after dark. I've been petitioning for this dude for the longest because how he transformed how I saw games at a point in time. The combos that God of War was doing was incrable at that time.
Yeah, I'd love to talk to him as well. I've been trying to get him on Games Talk as well. I put it out there.
It's very difficult right now because he's getting really busy. But
back,
if you reach out to him on Discord, I'll give you his details. He's a lovely guy.
No. I like his stuff. I like his takes, and I definitely liked his games. And I think that he brought a lot to the industry. Just built upon God of War alone, and then Twisted Metal as well for its time. It was an amazing game.
It was the game. Remember, every PlayStation that launched had a Twisted Metal attached to it. And I think because of the documentaries out, I think that's why they talked about the game being even talked about or mentioned, because every time you talk about Twisted Metal in the PlayStation circumference, you have thoughts of Euphoria. So the games that you was playing when you was playing people over the web, it was really good stuff. The online stuff too, it was great to it.
Even the indie game he made for the PlayStation 4, Drawn to Death, it wasn't.
Yes.
It was a flop, but it was still interesting, and he was trying to do something new there, and I respect that kind of thing.
You do. What I do feel, and I think maybe Jaffe feels this way as well, is that his lingering legacy is kind of the ending. Drawn to Death is a sour taste in his legacy, and he didn't want to end it there.
Well, go work with Microsoft. Go make a real God of War over in Microsoft.
Jaffe loves Game Pass. He is unfiltered. Have you seen his videos? He just makes little caricatures of Jim Ryan and everything. This guy is amazing. Like, if you think my Source videos are bad, Jason Schreier, I joke, this guy will go to town. In fact, he may finish Jason Schreier pretty rawly. But we talked about the whole Jason Schreier thing.
I will put him
funny, but he doesn't care because he's older. He can get away with things. But the guy you have to respect the legacy. There's some rules you don't break. And in this space we get a lot of people who are friends, but in the gaming space, you respect the guy. You cannot. How can you greenlight Twisted Metal and you don't even tell? And David Jaffe finds out after the fact. That's mad
you know,
disrespect.
the best revenge, the sweetest revenge, is to go to the competitor and actually handle your business. Listen, go pitch a true
But Phil
God of
Spencer
War.
blocked him.
Get a true God of War sequel showing up. God of War 4 in the same vein. Do it with Gods of Egypt. You know, switch it up. Do it before they do it. Get to it before they do it, and bring a true spiritual successor over there. Actually, you can do it. You had the formula. You did the formula with Twisted Metal. Bring these games back that can actually live and actually make this stuff happen. Your creative process never left. You are actually the creator in your head. So you never lost the process. The process is there. I guess your aptitude for revenge isn't there. Find that aptitude for revenge and make that aptitude happen. I will purchase your game, sir. I wouldn't even wait for it to hit Game Pass. I will actually give you your bucks.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I would love to have him. We'll try and do your After Dark. ILP After Dark, I am there. I love ILP, but without the PG rating,
you've never heard me
that's
in a
my
headset.
That's my sauce. You have to invite me for episode 1. There'll be no need for this f***ing shit. Sorry, guys, but yeah, you know, that's the industry right there. And someone in chat saying that Jaffe was making so many attempts to take stabs at Sony yesterday. This is the point. Sony views things in a way with its Metacritic scores. It's quite harsh. A lot of it the way my parents dealt with me. So sometimes it kind of vibes with me. I like it. Not good enough. B, I don't care. But at the same time, that's the diminishing returns with that kind of mentality. That's what you saw with Days Gone. And now, you know, it's a good insight into how studios comparatively, or publishers or console makers treat things. Xbox is quite kumbaya. I think they need to take a little bit of Sony's approach. Sony needs to take a little bit of Microsoft's approach, but we'll see. But yeah, so Twisted Metal is coming back. Whether it will be good with or without Jaffe remains to be seen. But there we go. The final topic of the show was going to be about the physical E3 event, but let's watch this space. We've already talked about it. Asa, do you want to talk about the future of Ryzen 4 CPUs, or is that something to be relegated later?
I do not.
Okay. Well, okay. There you go. This has been quite a long show. 2 hours and 15 minutes. This is nothing. It doesn't hold a torch to ILP's massive 6 hour. For God knows how you guys do that. But it's in the morning, so I guess there's that.
Not anymore. It's in the afternoon.
Well, every time someone from ILP comes on, that's it. This is always a long show. And me and you,
I talk too much. I do apologize.
No, you don't talk enough. When I have you here, I have to extract the maximum out.
Squeeze me like a juice. Squeeze me like an orange. Get out all the juice.
I will. I'll squeeze it hard.
Pause.
Thank you so much, everyone in chat, everyone, for 330 people still watching us. Smash that like button if you enjoyed this incredible conversation. Gents, again, thank you so much for appearing on the show. It means a lot. I hope you had a good time. King, tell us what's in store. You alluded to ILP After Dark. That is,
I've been fighting
has
for that.
to happen.
Okay, well, first and foremost, I want to thank the illustrious hosts, Gaz and Asa, and I definitely want to my incredible guests that shared the podium with me, Fonz. Like I told you guys before, Fonz is an incredibly entertaining and fun dude, and he brings a lot of level-headed stuff to the party, and he always balances my crazy stuff. So if y'all look at the boxes, me and Gaz is crazy, and the COVID actually tamed him today, so he would have been a whole lot worse. But then if you look at the boxes on that angle, you have Asa and Fonz, and they actually balances us out. So we don't get too crazy with our hyperbole, because these guys actually balance us. You can find me on Iron Lords.
Bro.
Thank you.
I love
so much,
the crazy.
brother. You can find me on Iron Lords podcast Sundays, thankfully at 1 p.m. now Eastern Standard Time. This is a great thing, so I can actually probably get an hour worth of sleep, because a lot of times y'all see me on the shows, I've been up 24 hours. It's crazy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, absolutely nuts. And I do a 4 or 5 hour show, and I do it with the same amount of energy that you're going to get at all times, because you guys are what makes the world go round. So all 300 plus people like this, share this, get this stuff out. You can find me on Twitter, King David OTW. If you like the stuff that I do, I'm an absolute fool. I'm a nut. I'm a troll. All right. So a lot of times I will troll you. And I have no problem with doing so, but I am a gamer and I'm your brother. So I want everybody to treat everybody with respect, understand that we are all gamers, and whatever you play is how you play, but it's your money and it's really how you pay. So I don't care what you do with your cash because I'm not in your wallet. Don't watch mine and I won't watch yours.
Yeah. Wise words
Well
indeed.
said.
Do not watch his wallet. You will
You
lose
can't
that battle.
because it's crazy.
Respect. Oh man, I'm kind of sad this is the end of the show because I don't know when I'll have you next. But thank you so much for coming on.
You can have me whenever you want me, guys.
Oh man, I always want you. This would be a regular. But thank you so much for coming on, man. Last but certainly not least is Fonzarelli, now turning out more videos sounding even more caramelly smooth with that dank stainless steel microphone, looking sick, looking
I appreciate it. I only turned out a couple of videos this week because I was on vacation. Now, I don't get all this time to make videos all the time, but I was able to do that. I was supposed to, announce here as well that I'm going to be doing a show tomorrow with Rand. Unfortunately, he came down under the weather, can't make my show, so I'm postponing that till next Sunday. He said he'll be there next Sunday. I guess Vertigo's really got him good. So unfortunately, Rand can't make it. But I want to thank you guys for, inviting me on today. I was excited to be on with King again. Excited to be here anyway. But when you said King is going to be the other guy, I was like, yeah, let's do it. I love King. I love these guys. The ILP guys are amazing. So thank you guys. The chat was awesome today. Always amazing to have us. I always love chatting with people as we're doing the show because they add so much to the conversation. They really do. And I love that. So
it goes this long.
I appreciate you guys. You can find me at Fonzarelli Gaming right here on YouTube, where I do make content when I can. And you could also find me on Twitter at Fonzarelli. So J Fonzarelli. Yeah. So anyway, find me there.
And I know that we talked about timing of content. I'm falling foul of it. I really want to push the content out. I was trying to record a video today and just coughing over it. So apologies, but Fonz, your videos are incredible. I love your style. It's so distinctive. It's just sad. Just like other people say with ours, it's yours that I wish you could see more because there'll always be an appetite.
Yeah. You know what, because when I push out videos, I try to put a lot of edits in there and do some stuff. Like I had one this week where it took me several hours to make.
Yeah.
But I think I might do more like the second video I did this week where it was a little less edits and I could just sit there and give you my opinion without having to do too much, because I think people still want to hear from us regardless as content creators. I think that's the key. So.
See, you're right. See, I'm with you.
But it's hard for me, right? It's hard.
Same.
It's hard.
The drive is to do those edits, make the videos look good, and I really want to do that. And so Dealer has a go at me. It's just put yourself out there because there's people just want to see your content. People say that. Your second video performed better as well.
It did.
When I watched it, I realized I love your edits. But as an editor, I appreciate the edits. But
I appreciate
what I actually really liked is actually having you on screen. I think, and that's made me realize, look introspectively, maybe people for some reason.
King's laughing. King's laughing because he's one of the guys who pushed me to do it. So
really fun, King.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Him and Cognito was the ones that saying you got to go on camera. You got to go on camera.
It's mainly me.
Yeah, it was because of you. Ultimately, it's because of you.
You know why? Because I feel the way that humans interact, and it's just behavioral science here. When they can see your face, not covered with a mask. When you see somebody come in the store with a mask on, you right now, even though you know it's COVID, you still yo.
Yeah.
Right? So these little avatars beeping, it turns me off completely.
Yep.
But when I can see Fonz, and I'm looking at Fonz's background, I'm looking at everything that's going. He has a mood light that's going on. Then he has the screen that's popping, and he's well presented. This changes how you get prepared. When you have an avatar up, you can be a slob behind the deck with your hair all nappy and you're crusting your eyes and boogers hanging out your nose, and you can be doing all types of things. But right now, you know, Asa is well presented. He's in front of his screen. He has Sonic to that side. He has Skyrim right there, and he has that halo around his head, which I find amazing every time. You know, and these are little things that you take with you. And it becomes, you endear yourself to the people. You are a person, and they get to see that. They get to see when you're joking. They get to see when you're serious. But when your avatar's beeping, they don't know if you're joking or you're serious. When I'm slandering TCL or I'm slandering Sony, you don't see the smile on my face and me laughing. So these are the things that changes the context of the situation. So if you're just hearing it, you're missing out on half the show. Don't just hear it. Go see it, because it's on YouTube. You take the time out and go watch it. I'm telling you, I can make you pee on yourself if you see half the idiot stuff that I do.
You know what? And you're right. I tend to, when I'm listening to a podcast, if it's on YouTube and they're on camera, I tend to watch it, right?
Yep.
But when I see those avatars, I tend to just listen to it in the background. I'm doing stuff.
Very few people, though, just to add to that, can get away with it. Dealer and Rand, especially Dealer, his voice is
OG
so
stuff,
powerful. Though. Yeah, he's
OG stuff. But then think about it. If he actually breaks through, do you know he will probably break the internet the day that he actually shows himself on camera? He will probably snap the internet in half.
Easily come on. I don't know why he doesn't want to be on
camera. I think that video would probably do 1 million. I will take the over. I will take the over on 1 million. That it will hit 1 million that day. I would take the over on that.
It's really funny because Dealer's a good-looking guy. Pause, but I'm just saying, like, he is. 100%. And I don't understand why he don't do it, but that's his choice. It's
you know,
it's
people comfortability level with whatever.
If they saw how big this guy would, as in he's Bane big, he's sick.
Yeah, but it's
he doesn't. He's got the voice for it as well.
Yeah, it's your comfortability level with it. It's whatever. And first of all,
he doesn't need to do it.
Right, and he does it for the love. You know, it's just how you want to present yourself, and he does a great show without it. So you got to understand what he's dealing with in his repertoire. Though. Fantastic show, always.
Yeah, I think Rand will end up coming back to camera again because he used to be on camera. Rand. Back in the day, he was.
Oh yeah, he did. Rand's really cool, man. He's just like, it's a bit more convenience factor for him, but he can, like, because we've seen him, we want him more. Dealer is a special case. His voice is just like bassy. Yeah. He is the exception to the rule. But yeah, you're right. I'm glad you pushed Fonz to the camera, man. Because
I was an animal with that because people don't know. Fonz and I were talking about a combat show.
I would still like to do something.
Oh well, and
I really would.
I'm glad you're talking about it because I have a pitch meeting with ILP right after this, and this is the time of the year where we bring new stuff to the table. I already have producers working on music, and I have an artist waiting for the music to be done. So the music, I got some music done. So one of the shows is Combat Talk with the King live, and KOS, my statue show, that's gonna go live. And when I'm bringing the statue show to people, see, a lot of you guys see these statues, and these statues go for $2-3 grand. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to raffle these statues, not mine. I'm a distributor. I distribute high-end statues, cold cast porcelain statues from Singapore, which is these statues, right? So these statues, XM Studio statues, come straight from Singapore. What I'm going to do is start raffling statues off to people. I know you guys, some guys don't have $2-3 grand to be paying for some statue, but if you raffle off $100 a ticket, you get a shot to win a statue. You can buy as many tickets as you want. There's only going to be 10 tickets per statue. You get a statue, do it as you choose. Hopefully that you love it, and it starts that spark with inside you. I'm going to be raffling off comic books because I have a deal with Midtown Comics, and also pops and stuff like that. So if you collect pops, if you collect toys, KOS Live is going to be something interactive that's going to work with the crowd, and you win that day. Your statue gets shipped out to you that day, 3 days DHL straight to your house, straight from Singapore to you. From me to you, you have a great thing. And then also Combat Talk with the King is going to be live. It's going to be a live show where you get to call in, you get to, and we're going to be watching a fight. All right, so that night I'm gonna be drinking, watching the fight. We're gonna be partying. We're gonna be having a good time. You get to call in, we get to talk, and have a good time. I want to show you different aspects of what Iron Lord's doing, what we're about, and also, Fonz can jump on. We can talk. We have a good time. Watch the fight, and he is more knowledgeable with anything MMA. I have really no idea. So I'll be with training wheels, and he'll be teaching me. So these are stuff that can happen, and it's going to happen. Like I said, 2022. It's a year of greatness. You guys are going to have so much fun. I want to be the Netflix of this.
It's going to be awesome.
You have the personality for it. You just need to do it, man. And you have legions of fans for a reason, man. I'm looking forward to it. Do the After Dark. Invite me.
Yes.
And try at the same time.
Yes.
Do it.
We get the curse. We get the curse.
Oh, we would. Oh, jeez, we would. Definitely would. But yeah, someone in chat said, "Who's Dealer?" Dealer is the OG. He helped us date GOAT. That's who.
For
he is.
real.
Shout out to Dealer.
He's the GOAT.
And he is the GOAT. He is.
Christopher Walken in the flesh.
Yeah. Dealer's one of my best friends, man. That guy is so down to earth, and the guy's helped me out immensely over the years. That guy's just amazing. Great guy.
So shout out to him. Yes, and he's not a drug dealer. Thank you so much.
You had to throw the drug in front of his name. Yeah. Okay.
Drug dealer. Wow, that's crazy.
Okay, guys.
He'll sell you some DMT. Thank you so much, everyone in chat. Smash the like button. It has been an incredible show. We'll be back next week, and hopefully this week you get a couple of videos from me. Please take care. Smash your like out. But before we do, Asa, what's in store for your fans?
So much. I'm doing loads of videos, and I don't know, it's been like a 3-hour show. That's enough. Loads of videos, loads of Twitch streaming. GameOnDaily is doing things. Check it all out, and it's going to be a great year.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Definitely. Peace.